I'm not allergic anymore, but when I was a kid, I was allergic to mosquitoes. And when I'd get bit, I would get these ginormous softball-sized, like, white welts on my legs.
Yeah.
And it was terrible. And I played soccer, so the chances of me not getting bit by a mosquito is just not a thing. Plus, there was no such thing as mosquito nicks. There was no such thing when I was a kid. I just go outside and just get welted up. Just But now kids can go outside, and if their dad is a cool dad like you, they buy a mosquito nick system, they run the hoses all around the fence line, and then when they go outside, they don't. And Max, doesn't he get them too?
He gets it back.
That's a good old Florida boy right there, man.
And now it links up to your phone, so you get the Mosquito Nicks app, and then you can...
that's amazing. While you're in there taking a poo, you can hit the button.
And it goes off in peak mosquito times, so that you don't have to worry about it. But
fully customizable. You can change it for whenever you want to. You can do it whenever you'd like. Like, let's say that you had some standing water and mosquitoes, the levels increased a bit.
Yeah.
Go out there and tap your button and turn it on manually.
It really does create like a barrier around your house because how often it goes off.
And you got like a jungle back there, man. It looks like you're in a resort with all these plants, and mosquitoes like that sort of like jungle area.
And the mosquito repellent that is in the system is completely biodegradable. It breaks down in 10 seconds.
You've heard us tell you perfectly fine. Plus, it doesn't destroy your plants. It doesn't hurt animals.
Yeah, it's less concentrate than off that you spray directly on your kids. So that tells you.
I use that on the camping trip to burn my damn eyes out. That stuff is strong.
And so if you especially now the rains are coming, it's about to be summer. If you want your yard back, talk to them.
Get on the list. Get scheduled.
Yeah. And they just tell them you're a listener. They'll hook you up. It's mosquitonicks.com. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. On the line with us from Salty Sisters in Cocoa Beach.
She's the hardest working lady I know.
I have a feeling you're running around crazy today.
I have a feeling you had a bag of French fries on your potatoes, rather, because these are fresh cut fries. You have potatoes on your back. You're smashing a burger.
How's it going, Tiffany?
Well, I just got back from the grocery store.
I knew it. I know. I can smell the potatoes. Fresh cut fries, guys. You got to get them.
So how long has it officially been, Tiffany? I know you had your grand opening in January, but you've been open now for a few months. Have things slowed down a little bit as far as how chaotic it's been? Have you gotten used to the flow?
Doesn't are you
crazy
crying?
Laugh? Why are you crying?
No.
Yeah. By your crazy laugh, it tells me no.
Okay, yes and no. Okay, so one thing, I'm learning how to staff a little bit better. That's been a learning curve for sure because I wasn't staffing enough in the beginning. So I've hired like probably twice as much staff as I did originally. That being said, now everybody's calling in every day. So I just had a cook call in today and a server call in on her first day. So
that'll happen. That'll happen.
As a business owner, I know that in the restaurant world, I know my friends that work in restaurants tell me that COVID is always or at least in the past couple of years have been
It's phantom COVID.
Has been a major excuse for you calling. You're like, tested positive for COVID.
Got COVID.
Because they know they got you there because you're not going to be like, we'll come in.
And infect everyone.
Right. Or prove to me, I don't know. What do you do as a boss?
It's insensitive if you're like, show me a time-stamped test holding a USA Today and get it notarized.
It's so crazy because when I was like 16, working as a server at my first job, I didn't even know you were allowed to call in ever, so I just never did. I would be puking and I would just never called in a single day my whole entire life.
I know you haven't. I've seen you come to work where Tom had to drive you, and you're puking out the side of his car. I mean, I
puked in Tom's car before and still went to work.
Yep, you did. I saw it.
Well, let's talk about the opposite, and I'll give you the opposite perspective. Me, Tom Van, I love calling in. It's my favorite thing to do because
when you used to work for other places,
I was going to say,
I will say that here you cannot. You never call in.
Well, of course, because it's stupid.
You would never.
I didn't know I was alled to call in. Hold on a second.
You're not.
Who said you are?
You got COVID? Show up. We'll all get COVID.
All
right. But when I worked for another company, I didn't care about it. And in fact, I hated. Not that your employees. I think it's just a general mindset of you hate the place you work.
I used to make up excuses, and then eventually I just got I just call and say I'm not coming in.
And I've never worked for another company in the COVID world, but I'd use COVID all the time. I'd be like, sorry,
oh my
COVID.
God, it's crazy. And like
I'd always have a positive COVID test on me at all times. It doesn't wear off. That line stays there.
I would be trying to get COVID.
My thing is, if you call in like in the morning and you're working that night, I thank them. I'm like, thank you for letting us know 4 hours ahead of time, because some people will call in like I'm like, oh, is this person not coming in today? And then I text and they're like, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot I'm sick.
Well, hold on, let's talk about that, because I feel like if I call in, if I call you, Tiffany, and let's say I'm your cook, and I'm supposed to be there, hand cutting the fries, and if I call in. Like, let's say I call in 2 minutes before my shift starts. I feel like you, and then here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, look, I wanted to come in so bad that I was holding off until right when I had to be there to see if I got better. And I feel like you should wait. You should wait that, and you should. The intent was for me to be a hero.
Oh yeah, hero.
And at the 11th hour, swoop in unsick, but it just didn't happen that way. So the hero is calling in.
So yeah, this is a problem that every owner has dealt with, and I feel like we'll
a little bit
deal with to the end of time. And I guess the only answer to that, Tiffany, is just by having a bunch of different people to go to.
But the problem with that is everybody wants shifts. So I can't hire too many people, because then nobody gets enough shifts, and then they quit. So, and then they call in on the shifts that they begged me for. And I'm like, okay.
Well, that's when you scream, do you want to work or not?
Yeah. Then you fire your gun into the ceiling.
Because
so it's almost like I like the people that only want to work a couple of days, or like, hey, I'll be your fill-in person. Like, those are my star employees.
So you need 500 fill-ins.
Exactly.
You're
That's
normal.
all I need is 500 fill-ins, and I'll be good.
All right.
All right. So
if you'd like to be a 500
I'd say that's the biggest uphill battle this week anyways. But, and just like running out of food. Like one day we will throw away tomatoes because we ordered too many, and then the next week we're running into the store because we've just got slammed that week, and then we have so many tomatoes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
Food budgeting is insanely difficult. In fact, one of your friends has a wife that does it like professionally, right? Like her job is to organize the budget of a restaurant and make sure
we can't even get our merch inventory right.
No, we don't know what we're doing.
We either ordered too little.
I got to give you her number because
you should see all the tomatoes I'm ordering, and I don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah, I talked to her and she said like that's the number one thing with restaurants is budgeting that, and then they got a whole app.
I don't even know how you do it.
But I guess that you like there is an advantage to being in business for a longer period of time, so you could figure out like what your yearly, because it ebbs and flows, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like your customers.
You got to know your seasons.
Yeah, and then so being a new restaurant, you don't even have a good grasp on who your regulars are and what the seasons are, and like where you see you're getting a lot.
And the thing that's crazy about my place specifically is the rain. If it rains on a Friday or Saturday night, I am screwed. Like it is the biggest difference in the world for me. I will go from killing it, rock and rolling. We need 7 waitresses on, 5 cooks, 4 bartenders, a tiki bartender, and 3 owners there on a Friday night when it doesn't rain. When it rains, I need 2 bartenders on.
Wow.
It's like, it is.
I'm only happy when it rains.
But it is,
you were talking about it.
Yeah, I did. It was back when I had red hair.
That's something I never thought of in my life. I would care so much about the weather. And I'm like updating the weather.
Old ladies care about the weather. Don't say that. Don't say that.
All I care about is the weather.
You're a young, beautiful, hardworking mom. You're not some old weather lady.
It's weird because it's not like your whole place is outdoors, although you have a great outdoor area, but you have a great indoor area too. So you figure people would still go.
But the thing is, on Friday, Saturday nights, if it's raining, people don't even want to go out. They're like, yeah, we'll go out when it's not raining.
Go to Southeast Sisters, you pussies!
And God forbid the weather in Florida gets under 50. We don't see a single customer if the weather's under 50. I'm like, come on,
we are so weak.
Speed up.
We are the weakest
We
state.
need perfect weather. No rain, 72.
Exactly.
We will not leave our house.
If it's too hot, we're inside. If it's too cold, we're inside.
Crazy.
So, Tiffany, let's talk
about her events.
Yeah, let's talk about some upcoming events, because I know Supervillains are performing at Salty Sisters.
The BDM group's planning a meetup there.
Are
sounds
they?
like, yeah.
Nice.
So tell us about it. When is that happening?
Okay, so this is happening soon. It was like their only opening day during the good time of year. So March. So I was like, oh, it's only 16 days away now. So I kind of need some Tom and Dan promotion on them.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys, if I could call in. So yeah, 3/3 is the day, and doors open at 7, and it's only $10.
Damn,
pre-sale
$10.
15 at the door, and I think it's going to be really good. We have like 200 people on Facebook, like in the interested,
Yeah, you're going to get a good crowd.
Spread. We're spreading about that event.
Yeah,
Okay,
that'll be
so
super fun, man.
March 3rd, it's $10. Obviously, they're going to be playing at the world famous Salty Sisters outdoor stage.
Yeah,
and
the
I had
the amphitheater.
All my kids and my friends' kids running around playing on the.
You respected it so much, you just had your kids run around and kick sand everywhere.
Also, me and the Wizard played a couple rounds of horseshoes that were behind the stage.
I need to get new horseshoes. Sorry about that. That's on the list.
You got to get the authentic one, like right off of horses.
So anyway, so that I noticed, Tiffany, like, have you found that your, I guess, experience booking bands, because you have a lot of bands come through Salty Sisters, and I looked at every time I see you promote a different band, I'm like, Tiffany has to be using her experience of like booking bands and her knowledge of that. So is that easy for you to do, or I mean, because now you with bands and stuff, there's a whole new layer of work
Social
involved.
Media,
Yeah, that's why it's my job and not my business partners, because they're dealing with so many other things. And I'm like, okay, I'll take on the band thing, thinking it was just going to be like a few like moments of the day where I had to like call a band and book a band. No, it is crazy, 10 times harder than I thought it was going to be. And so now I'm from the other side, and it's interesting because I've always been like charging restaurant owners like whatever and not caring. But now coming from the other side, and it was funny because one of my bands didn't want to play outside, and they were like, yeah, no band would play outside in like 50 degrees. And I was like, okay, so I was in an all-girl band in Vegas for 10 years, and we played in 30 degrees. So,
where you would play wherever they needed you, like if they needed you.
I mentioned 6 times, my all-girl band, we would play outside in the cold. Yeah, the all-girl band, we had to wear, gloves, the all-girl band.
Right.
I mentioned girls like 5 times so that they felt like pussies.
Yeah, but, I like you're becoming a bully owner. Yeah, Tom loves this.
Oh, you get hardened by the world.
Yeah, you're tough. And you know what you can also do with there's attorneys that say, I was a sheriff, but now I'm an attorney. You can say, you're like that. You can be like, I was in a band, and now I book band.
Absolutely. Oh, believe me, I'm using that I was in a band thing as much as I have to use it, because they'll come up with every excuse in the book.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, my voice, it's too cold, and maybe my equipment might get
your voice is it's too cold for your voice. You're not Celine Dion. Get out there on the stage and sell some smash burgers, you dick.
Yeah, we had a band call in because they didn't want to play outside when it was a 30% chance of rain, and I was like, I have a tarp.
Yeah.
Like,
you ever put a trash bag on your bass rig? I have. You ever put a trash bag over your cymbals, you pussy? I hate that, man. Just get out there and play. Good Lord.
I'm hardened, man, and because my band would do it. We played if there was rain. We threw a tarp on our equipment.
Yeah.
Like, we just dealt with whatever we had to, and either we were easy to deal with and I didn't realize it at the time, or this is just the new way of pussies.
My husband played in the rain out of Toughies.
He put his equipment as close to the tarp thing area in the back of the little RV as he could, and he got out there and he played because he's a pro.
I'm sure it's all subjective, and different bands will,
Oh God, you're like a beachside. You're a little beachside reggae band. You get out there and the lead singer goes to his car and gets out a special case for his microphone. I'm like, oh my God, are you crazy? Are you crazy?
And it didn't even rain that day, so I was like aggravated because that affects our sales like so much, like, oh, just play. It's only a 30% chance, and it didn't rain, and I'm like, these MFers, but
or at least go show up, and then if it looks like it's going to rain, be like, I don't want to get my equipment wet, but don't look at 30% chance. That could mean nothing.
Well,
in Florida, like every day is 30% chance of rain.
Yeah, and by the way, that means 30% chance in that geographical area. And so it doesn't mean there.
I learned about that the other day too.
Yeah.
I know everything about weather now.
Another thing that's like interesting to me is that maybe
you should have become a weather girl.
Hey.
So much easier.
I professed it again.
Yeah.
I would watch that on Fox 32. 5. There she is.
They hire for that.
Every
you
morning.
don't even need to know about the weather.
Waking up with Tiffany.
Yeah. It works.
Yeah, and you're there, and you're like, hey, it's rainy, but man, look at what she's wearing. Holy moly.
Anyway, sorry, Tiff. So what else you got coming up? I know you mentioned Supervillains coming up March 3rd, but you do
karaoke, right?
I do karaoke every Thursday, and I'll tell you what, we got an hour rotation for our karaoke. It started out only 3 people at karaoke, and now you're lucky if you get your name in. So if you want to come down to karaoke, you better get there now.
All right,
now,
all right.
6. Don't get there now. Get there at like 5.
Do you have the machine and all that, or do you?
No, we hire a guy. Okay, I'm a little bit pro level. We hire a guy.
Okay, all right. We thought you had you're over there with a CD player.
Oh yeah, me and Tiffany got a business meeting after this, and I got to talk to you about.
He wants you to dress like a weather woman.
No. I want to talk.
You hear that? It sounded like Tiff. Did you hang up? It sounded like you hung up.
No,
I'm good. I just.
Tiffany's tough as hell. I
know.
Some sexual harassment ain't gonna bother her. She's been through everything.
I don't even notice.
Yeah, Tiff doesn't notice. I think she thinks that she's still got it.
She screams, "Get to work" to herself.
Yeah, she's trying to go to work now. You won't get let her off the phone.
I know. We want to talk about the atrocity.
Anyway.
So I got karaoke on Thursdays. And then, I think I'm going to do my own bingo, though. We had a bingo guy in last night, and I feel like I could do it better.
Oh my God, you're female Tom Van.
She is an old lady. Bingo and weather.
This is the female Tom Van. She's like, I saw this guy do it. After bingo. You bingo jockey, I can do that with my eyes shut.
And he left his daubers, so I'm like, okay, cool. Now I got daubers. I'm ready to go.
Well, you got more balls. I'd be afraid that the bingo guy
I see what you did with the bingo joke.
No, I'm just saying would hear that because this is being broadcast. I think his feelings hurt.
Like he's trying to set the bar on fire.
He's in Tampa. He doesn't listen.
He's in Tampa. Oh, man.
It goes out to Tampa, too, I think. I have no idea.
Well, then never mind.
It's a pod. It goes on the internet.
What's his name? Let's ruin his life.
It goes worldwide.
Let's take him out. What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
Let's dox him.
We're on corporate. I don't know. Get
to work.
You hear that, Bingo Billy? We're coming for you. Tom and Dan Bingo.
All right, Tiffany.
And then, I did a speed dating on Valentine's Day.
I knew you would do it.
I saw that. How does that work?
I knew you would do a couple of creative.
It went crazily good. Surprisingly, it went really good. We had 8 dudes and 30 girls, though, so that part was a little, uneven.
That's kind of gross.
But we made 3 love connections. Where I want to say they went home with each other. I'm not even BS.
That's not a love connection. Tiffany, that's not a love connection.
Hey, don't ruin it. It was a love connection.
That is a sandy beach grind.
You got 3 boofers.
3 boofers.
Yeah, 3 people were hanging out afterwards and exchanging numbers that we saw during the speed dating. They connected. I was this thing freaking worked. I couldn't believe it.
My God.
Also,
you're making babies there at Salty
I would
Sisters.
expect the opposite, that you would have more men than women show up to those things.
That's what I thought was going to happen, but nope. I think guys are scared of that. So if you're single in Cocoa Beach, this is the place to go. Salty Sisters.
Wow, my God, you heard that. Home of the 30 women. 30 to 8 is the ratio there.
Isn't the girls usually afraid of strangers?
Not at Salty Sisters. It's a safe place.
The guys are
sisterhood.
I'm intimidated by
maybe that is. Maybe because it's a female-owned bar. I'm serious. I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah. You're right.
I mean, it goes a long way. You have a reputation. We know you're tough. You don't take any crap, but you're also sweet. But I feel like maybe a lot of women know you and go oh, I'd go to that. So that's probably why.
Right. Actually, a lot of people were like, oh, good. Finally, a restaurant bar for women. There's none of those. And at first I was like, what? We didn't make it for women. But now
take your money.
I could see that because we did spend extra time in the women's room than the men's.
So did Dr. Phillips. Let's be honest. So did Dr. Phillips. Dr. Phillips got $1 million bathroom for the ladies, and then the guys get a regular bathroom. It's nice, but it's not the gold bathroom that the ladies get.
All right, Tiffany. Well, we'll let you go. Again, Salty Sisters in Cocoa Beach. Remember, can you get your Supervillains tickets online, or is it day of?
Yeah, it's on Eventbrite, or if you just go on our Facebook, which is Salty Sisters CB on Facebook. And then you can just click on the links, and it'll take you right to the Eventbrite. Or if you just have the Eventbrite app, you can just search Supervillains, and you'll see that playing at Salty Sisters, 3-3. Get your tickets now.
Yeah,
or
3-3
at the door.
Snag the ticket. You save a little money if you get them now, and I'm sure Tiff would rather it sell out beforehand.
I would rather. That way I know how to staff.
Yeah, so get your tickets now. Go to Eventbrite. We put the link in the chat room. Tiff, we love you. We hope, if you need any other help from us, please don't be a stranger. Get at us, okay?
Well, I got my meeting with Tom after the show.
Okay. Well,
we'll talk business. I got a bunch of ideas.
He's got a lot of crazy ideas.
And I'll just make up ideas as I'm talking to you, so that's fun.
That's what we always do. That's what we always do. I haven't written down anything in the last 18 years. All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, love you guys. Bye.
Love you too. See you.
All right,
man.
We will be right back.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. I did not pack enough.
Yeah. When your wife said you were bringing only
beers.
20, now I did
So
think
you guys overpacked everything else except for the alcohol?
I didn't overpack at all. Like, Andrea always has it. Andrea always has it. So, like, literally, as the canoe is coasting in, she's taking the last sip of water out of a big jug, and we're good. Like, she's always... I hate it.
Meticulously planned every second of
I hate it. She even knew where we were stopping on the way home. She's like, I remember.
KFC.
No, she's like, I remember there's a racetrack up here and we can hydrate. And I'm like, I hate you.
Remember how I told you we need to kidnap you to reset your anxiety levels?
Oh, they're higher than ever, too.
What if you threw Andrea off like she planned some vacation and all of a sudden it...
Threw her off a cliff?
No. You were like, guess
I'm
what?
Planning it.
Instead of flying to the Dominican Republic, like you thought, we are going opposite Canada. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And I have it planned.
But you forced her to go completely improv.
It would never happen.
And then
she's like you. She's unchangeable.
Well, it could reset her.
She says
plan.
she's unchangeable like you. She's like, this is just like,
this born this way.
The argument
everybody yells at me. I got to change. Everybody every day is like, change.
I do that to Andrea. I'm like, you have to change. What are you doing?
I am like, okay, fine.
And that's what she says, but nothing ever changes. You guys are liars.
Well, you have to. That's what I'm saying. You have to force her to go through an unplanned vacation. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't think I can do it.
If you wanted, because how do you change me emotionally? Like, you'd have to force me to go through something emotional. But then
you seem more emotional though after touching. Like, having touching moments in the woods with your family. Like, I will say, like, today, you are more emotionally charged today than you've been in months. So I feel like you're more in touch. What would you say, Sam? I feel like he's a little more in touch.
I feel like he's tired.
Yeah,
you both are tired.
He's drunk. He's drunk, too.
I have the correct amount of emotion. I only get emotional when...
The correct amount.
He also breaks like Andrea, right? Everything's the correct amount. I got to the dock with the correct amount of water. That's how you guys are. I didn't bring enough beers because I didn't buy beers I forgot that I'm going to want a couple beers Friday night. You know, we left on Saturday morning, but Friday night, you still want to have a couple beers. I didn't have any beers, so she had all the beers packed. And it's very hard for me to not drink Coors Light. I'm just going to tell you something that maybe I haven't said before. It's very difficult for me to avoid a Coors Light that's been in ice. Beers that are in ice cold beer, not fridge beer. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about draft.
No, it's going to be crispy.
I'm talking about a Coors Light Silver Bullet, and I know that's trash beer. I get it. It's just, it's a Coors Light Silver Bullet straight out the cooler, and it's
crisp.
Oh God, it's good, dude. So I had 4 of those. Like
Friday night?
Friday night.
Okay.
And then, so I only had 20 on the trip. And then, of course, she asked me, is that going to be enough? And Tom knows the answer to that. And you never say, no, we're going to get more. You go, yes, absolutely.
Now, when Andrew said you only brought 20, I was like, oh,
yeah, I saw you shaking your head.
Run out.
Yeah.
But I also thought, well, I forgot last camping trip you didn't drink at all. You were dead sober. So I was like, he's used to that.
Yeah, but he's got to make up for last year.
I do. No, I didn't drink crazy. I did like maybe, I don't know, between 6 and 10, you know? And that's how I got, so there was like, what, 3 days?
Yeah, well, 2 days.
I did 2 in the canoe.
It's really only Friday and Saturday. Sunday.
Well, that counts. You need beers for Sunday.
Did you have beers for Sunday?
No, I had to borrow beers from Porno Joe.
Yeah.
He gave me a couple of these Yingling. He gave me the Yingling Light and the Golden Lager. He gave me, so I pilfered 4 beers from him. He gave me 2 in the night. He slipped me 2 in the night. And then he gave me 2 using his paddle. Canoe to canoe while we were traveling.
Yeah.
That's a couple of those.
Yeah. That's how you transferred the beers.
Yeah, you'll see when they go canoeing. Sam will be giving a beer to her husband using the paddle. It's just a tradition. It's what you do.
You know, I did, and I normally
you packed the right amount. And your wife wasn't drinking, right?
Yeah, or she was drinking.
Oh yeah. All right.
She drank a
mega pint.
No, she brought a bottle, like a 750.
Barefoot?
Of vodka.
Hey!
Drank the
straight vodka?
Yeah.
real
Well, she
party.
mixed it with LaCroix. That's her
I like that.
deal.
That's good.
The wine is the wine. You drink bottles and
Sugars.
bottles of wine. It's too much sugar. It
Too
bloats
sugar.
you. It's like that.
It is delicious,
Too
though.
sugary.
Wine is delicious. I love
It
the
is.
suggies.
But that
Give me
extra
the
sugar gives you more of a hangover.
Oh, yeah.
Especially as you age.
But
it's
it
like
tastes better than LaCroix and vodka. What is
you're
that?
right.
Why are we drinking
Not
that?
bad.
It's bad.
Speaking of Joe, I asked Joe because Joe's been a firefighter for
I
a
love
while
Joe.
now, and he's
Joe is,
paramedic.
I feel very close to Joe. I got to camp with him. I love Joe. He's a good man.
I did ask him. I was like, if something happens, how much can you do here? He's like, well, I brought a trauma
bag?
kit.
Oh.
No, like a trauma kit for like gunshot wounds that I use. So if anybody actually like stabs an artery,
I brought
or
a gun.
something-
I brought a very hair trigger unsafe gun.
And then I'm like, that does make me feel safe because if someone, like, say some kid falls on some
Impaled
sharp
on a stick.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what you were thinking about too. Was the impaling?
Well, that is, you trip on something and fall into something, it can impale you,
yeah.
right? Like that is
Put that on the BDM page. I want impaling stories.
Yeah,
I want to hear.
Well, that happens more than the gator attack,
But
you know?
I want to hear people that have hit a fence. There was this black kid that I went to elementary school with. We were up in a tower. Me and him, and for whatever reason, I still remember the girl's name. Her name was Rosalie. And we were just playing, and he's like, hey, look, I can hang out the side here. And he went to hang out the side, but he fell backwards. And, man, we were pretty high. I want to say we were like roof level, and then his back just landed on the jagged edge of a chain link.
My God.
And I still remember seeing it. I was like, oh, my
Yeah,
God.
it's trauma.
It was
Yeah,
horrifying.
yeah.
I remember climbing down there and helping him down, and then the teachers are running over. It's still burned in my skull.
Because I realized I'm not good at saving children's lives.
No, me neither. I was really bad at it.
For instance, the Wizards' youngest baby, Tennessee, who's like
he's like Mr. Magoo. He's walking on the logs. He's climbing up a tree. He's swinging through the. He
he's
does
like
anything.
a year and a half old or something.
Yeah.
And I may be wrong about that. I don't know baby's age.
He doesn't even drink milk anymore. It's straight Bud Light. He goes wherever he wants.
He was walking towards the river, and then
Tennessee walking towards the river, huh? It's a country song writes itself.
Tennessee walking to the river.
he fell over, like through an inner tube and into the water head first. He can't swim, right? And then that's how.
Okay.
But he's tough enough. I feel like he could figure it out.
And the wizard, because this is how he parents, he's like, he knows the flip around thing. And I jump up like a scared granny, like, no!
Of
Like,
course, yeah. I
And then
probably would too.
I ran over there, and now he was getting up and like, but
He
I
was
ran,
picking his Bud Light up off the.
I ran over there, and then I flipped the tube, and then the baby was doing what it like
Supposed to do.
They did the training, so it does the I almost call it ASMR, but whatever
Yeah.
the hell
They
the
do
flip the baby on the
they
back.
do the CPR.
The emergency swim
It's
training.
yeah.
So it flipped on his back, but then the tube, I flipped it over and it bounced off another tube and then went back and then
Slammed him.
Drowning the baby?
and then
Yeah.
dunked him again.
Yeah.
Like,
It
so-
was like Tom was like, oh, I got you.
So yeah, I dunked the baby and then I was bumbling around. I picked it up by his
The
feet.
baby screamed, crying. You pick it up like a turkey.
Yeah. And then
He picked it up like you're lowering it into a turkey fryer.
and I made the situation
Jesus,
worse
man.
in a panic.
Yeah, just go away. Everybody said, just go away.
And-
Leave the baby alone.
And then I realized, like, man, if there was a real situation,
Oh, you
I am
bumbling crazy.
I am not equipped to save anybody's life. So
I had already thought that
I
if
did think-
if a kid had fallen in a fire, if there was somebody impaled, I had already thought that I just run the opposite direction through the woods, away from everybody, and find a road, and then run back to the car, and then use my watch because it's linked to Andrew's car to get in the car, and then drive away and leave everybody there. Just start a new
Panic,
life.
yeah.
Just start a new life.
Oh, I watched that volcano
Joe
documentary.
versus the volcano.
Oh, the one I told you
Did you
about.
watch it?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was crazy.
What is it?
So there was this the documentary about a volcano. It's like a tourist attraction, and where was it
It's
at?
like off of New Zealand.
New Zealand.
It's called Wakari.
Yeah, and then
Wakari Forever. I've seen this.
like excursions, like the town nearby was, a tourism town, and they just did like a lot of different excursions. They take you on a tourist boat, and then you do walk up to the.
It's like going to Helen, Georgia, or something.
Yeah, or like on a Bahamas trip, you do the excursion, right? You take the snorkeling boat, they take you. It was like that, and so they built these docks there, and then you'd walk up to the the rim of the volcano, look in, and then walk back
there's
down.
Fire.
So during a regular excursion
like
day,
a Wednesday,
like there was like tour boats showing up. There's already people, and there's tour boats leaving. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a big circle of tourism, and the damn thing erupted. And
but you get your money's worth if you're there. On
well,
that day.
it
how much?
killed a lot of people.
Oh man! But if you got out not killed, you're like, wow.
Yeah, but you burnt to crisp.
Yeah, a lot of them burned real bad.
Burned up by the steam. But tragic, man.
Some people were on the boat leaving, and they
saw it.
That's when you're like, oh,
yeah. Like, but then they're like, there's still people. So then you're
survivor's guilt. Yeah,
I'm watching. And
let's never speak of this again. Right? You just go home.
The volcano cloud was like coming down the it was not really a mountain. It was kind of, the crater was
like a hill.
It had already sunk back into the ocean a lot, so it wasn't too tall. But it was coming towards their boat in the ocean because the cloud.
Well, that's the way it works. So you gotta go
fast. Yeah, they were like, and then people are videotaping it, and
then the captain is he like, hell yeah, we're getting out of here.
And then some people survived, and their account of it was terrifying.
That sounds like a goddamn nightmare. Of
course,
it is.
Were they watching people burn alive and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, the people on the boats were all, their skin was gone.
What, you're riding the boat and your skin is getting melted off?
Where they're trying to help people on and it's falling off.
Oh my God!
The ash cloud.
Maybe we shouldn't talk about this. This is terrible. You said something about a kid falling in a fire, and it triggered me thinking about the volcano.
Yeah. Well, you only go to the sad paranoia stuff. I like it.
Although
you brought up kids in a fire.
I wonder if someone, if like people still visit that because it's like a one.
I would.
I literally now watching that, I never want to ever walk. Like, didn't you go in Hawaii and like walk?
Now you guys are gonna not live your life because you watch.
No, I'll live my life. I'm just not messing with volcanoes.
Fine.
Oh God! What if they're
that happened once?
I probably wasn't going to be on a volcano anyway. So now that's just solidified. Like, you know what? I've made a good choice.
No, they'll quit watching stuff that scares you.
You told me to watch it.
I know,
you did tell her to watch it.
But don't let it affect your life.
He tells me to watch stuff all the time, and I'm like, I'm not watching that. That's sad.
Don't want. I mean, yes, planes have crashed, but don't let.
Listen, I'm afraid of flying planes. I still get on planes.
She does.
This is just the one. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not that interested in the volcano.
It's cool to see, though.
But I can watch a documentary about it.
Why do
you always say I can see it on the internet?
No, in person is awesome.
Why get on the boat? Just swim as far down in the water as you can. The water will protect you and insulate
you. One guy did do that.
Yes, and which I thought he was exaggerating.
So did I.
I'm a genius. You just got to keep swimming.
Well, he said he saw it erupt, and then he was running like down the dock, and it was right behind him. And he jumped in the water, and then like you remember True Lies, where he looks up, and then the fire. And he said that's what. And he said he waited. I was like,
how long were you?
Yeah, I don't know as long as it takes.
Because the eruption was only 2 to 3 minutes.
Plus, your adrenaline's going to suck up all your oxygen. It's not going to be a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
We dive. Your adrenaline sucks up all your air.
Also, being terrified, that you cannot hold your breath that long. Jumping in for your life, being terrified, like
only for like a Navy SEAL or something.
You got 40 seconds before you have to pop up.
He may have known a little bit ahead of time it was going to happen.
I feel like he's like that airplane guy that said
well, he
the guy passed
wasn't he the pilot? He was one of the helicopter pilots, I think.
He was one of the guys that did the tour a lot.
Well, then get in the helicopter. Get the hell out of there.
It was melted. It melted the freaking blades of the helicopter.
Don't melt my helicopter, bro.
Yeah.
Also,
maybe I will watch this.
It did show me.
Can Maisie watch this?
I would let my kids watch it.
I saw her. She
wouldn't poop in the woods. She's not tough.
Yeah,
she would not poop in the woods.
No.
God, I wanted her to poop in the woods so bad.
Now, again, I kind of side with her. It's like there is a porta potty there, and the $100 probably. She's like, I'm a kid.
He'll get it for me anyway. I think she was running the numbers a little bit. Because I almost had, when you're talking to your kids and you're like, I got them. They're on the hook, but then you can feel it slide off if you don't play it correctly.
Well, apparently, I know we're gonna go, but all the kids were afraid, and they were telling each other there was a wild boar in the woods.
Porta potty.
No, in the woods, and they were all.
There was no wild boar anywhere around there.
No. But that's what they were telling each other.
That's what you do as a kid. Yeah, they're like, you try to scare each other. Yeah.
But I'm gonna get a boar costume.
Yes, dude. Let's do something next year to traumatize them.
Oh, one of these kids is gonna kill you.
Actually, you're more boar sized.
Okay, I'll be the boar. Yeah, Pigman rides again.
It's like a fear factor when they use the little person as the rat man.
Let's get a little person. Let's get a rat man. Or do you want me to be the rat man?
Well, yeah, that's
I
what
can do
I'm
it cheap.
Yeah.
But hey, the rat man in that show was fully nude, and I'm dedicated to my parts.
They have to see it.
I'm a method actor. I am
it.
the Daniel Day-Lewis of Ratman, and I will have to be fully nude. It'll take 6 hours in makeup for them to glue the hair all over my body. I'm going to be true Ratman. I'm going to live out there a week earlier to get into character.
Okay,
for a full week. So by the time you guys interact with me, I am Ratman.
Yeah.
I become full Ratman.
You'll be all bug bites.
Yeah, I'm like bug bites, and I'm crazy, and I'm bloodthirsty.
Bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer, is here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
What are you drinking over there? What do you got?
I got the old Gatorade Zero, Glacier Cherry.
Glacier Cherry is where it's at. You had a Glacier Cherry?
It's hard to find.
Yeah, it is hard to find. My daughter loves it. You had a Glacier Cherry yet?
Best flavor.
It is the best.
What, Gatorade?
Yeah.
No,
it's the white one. It looks
he
like...
sticks to Daily.
I think it used to be called Frost, if I remember correctly. It was Gatorade Frost. But that Glacier Cherry, man, that's where it's at. Welcome to the show, everybody. What do we got to plug, my man?
Well, we got Sanford Porch Fest coming up on Saturday.
God, I can't wait for that.
So, a completely free event, and there's going to be a bunch of different historic Sanford houses participating in Sanford Porch Fest, which is a bunch of different musicians play on the front porch of these houses, and you can walk from house to house and
big
just
block party
and hang
it's like
out.
a neighborhood party.
Yeah. And take your kids, stroll from house to house, enjoy the music.
17 different houses participating. We're house number 14. You won't be able to miss it because we're going to make it look really, really nice. But yeah, we want you guys to come out there and enjoy the wonderful streets of Sanford, walk around with your family, with your pets, and enjoy some of the areas. And people from out of state have come here to play. People from out of state have come here to participate. This is a big event.
70 different musicians, and it's nice to just hang out, go Sanfording, stop at some bars, have some food,
have a cold beer,
watch a bunch of awesome musicians that are playing the Porch Fest.
I love it.
Then the next day, on Sunday, we're going to be out at Samantha's 6-year anniversary party for Semantics.
I cannot believe that. 6 years, man. 6 years.
This might be it, boys.
Of her and her husband and their guests. Independent podcast. It has a Patreon. She does a free show called You Heard About This One, where she digs into some of her passions, like conspiracies and crimes. And just some full-on silliness. You can listen to the after party, which is just a drunken fun mess.
So
she provides a lot of content. So go celebrate it, and you can come and see us on Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be at noon, and we're all going to be out there and have some beers.
Brewing.
And Joe Burns going to be buying some beers for everybody.
But you gotta do the thing that Tom doesn't want to do.
Yeah, you got to find somebody in a burn pest hat. And you got to say, burn them pests.
Oh,
and then he'll give you one free beer.
You know what I'm going to do? You know what I've been
much.
thinking about? I'm looking at our guest here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm up in the ante. I'm going to get right in one of the pest guy's ears. I mean, I'm close. Like almost where my lips are touching his ear hairs. And I'm going to
I'll throw this out.
Burn them pests. I'm going to get him
well, hold on. Counter contest.
If you come to me and say, I'm too awkward to tell Joe burn these pests, I will buy you a beer.
Oh, that's more awkward.
Hold on.
No,
because a fight. It's a fight.
Someone's going to double dip, though.
I'm going to double dip. I'm going to go right over. I told you I'm going to go right there. Go burn them pests. I'm going to whisper.
And then you're going to go to Tom.
And then we're going to Tom and say, and he's going to go, I know you do this, you
Joe,
idiot.
Did you buy this guy a beer? And then if he says yes, I'm like, no beer for you.
What do you mean I'm Dan? You know who I am.
Let's play some the thing.
All right. Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Yeah, it's Weird Job. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Making it weird. Oh, yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. This is annoying time. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
No, I liked it.
I felt like I needed to improv somehow. I get bored with the old song. I haven't been.
Well, I know
inspired.
why you felt that way.
I got it. What?
Because that's kind of what our weird job is about today.
You know, it's funny. Maybe subconsciously I was picking up his vibes. For sure. I can understand. Yeah.
Or you heard me say, what's this guy's job? Samantha right before. So I have 2 seconds to prepare in my mind some questions.
I didn't even know his name.
That's a
Man,
lie.
you guys are coming off that camping trip. I'm prepared.
Look, when I went to the woods and I went camping, I left everything. I left every device. I shut it all off. And when I come back to the world, I'm an infant. I'm a new baby. I don't even know how to use this stuff.
Also, me and Daniel hate preparing.
I gotta get back into it.
Yeah. We like to make our minds blank, and then someone says, "All right, go, you're on." Panic.
Get out there and do something.
I like working in a panic.
I do. I too love working in a panic. Some would say I stay in a panic at all times.
Weird job brought to you by Firehouse Pressure Washing. I want to thank them for hooking us up with pressure washing our front sidewalk for our porch.
They don't panic. I'll tell you what. Those guys see some mold. Those guys see some algae. And blast it right off.
FirehousePressureWashing.com. Adam's here. How you doing, Adam?
Hey.
It is also weird that when we do all this talking
in front of Adam, and he has to sit there, and
like, when's my time?
You know what I feel like?
Please.
I feel like a ghost.
Yeah. That's where we want to
look like a ghost.
I'm very pale.
You're very ghosty. You're the ghostiest Adam I've ever met.
I'm very sheet-like.
Yeah, and you have eyes like a ghost, and you float.
Yes.
Your essence is floatable.
So, Adam, what is your weird job?
Well, basically, for like over 10 years, I've been a professional improviser, but I also do a lot of work in the theme parks, or I used to. So, like, I used to be in the animal costumes at Disney World.
Nice, man.
And now I'm reaching for something more.
Okay.
I like how you made what character you were playing like very generic and mysterious, but you said Disney World.
I don't work there anymore. I don't do it anymore.
Which one were you?
He's Piglet.
Piglet. No, hold on. You were Tigger. You're a Tigger all day.
Oh.
I was Pluto.
Pluto! You get the hell out of here.
You're wearing Pluto now, right?
Is it in you?
I can't leave it.
You can't leave it. You're still Pluto. You're like, I'm Pluto for life.
What's the...
He's a gentle dog. He's Mickey Mouse's
sweet boy.
He's Mickey Mouse's best friend. He's always getting in a fight with a bumblebee, I believe, like Buzz, right? Wouldn't he fight with Buzz some? Pluto?
So, Pluto's a dog. I know.
You got nothing? You're supposed to improv! Holy crap.
So, I know this is effed out. But
what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Ice bucket challenge?
But Pluto's a dog, too, right?
Yes.
They're both dogs.
They're both dogs. But Goofy's a slightly smarter dog.
Okay. Well, way smarter. He can talk. He's a human.
Yeah, but he's not quite there.
But he's still stupid, though, because he's goofy.
He's like a caveman, right? He's like barely up there. The smartest.
He had a kid.
The smartest.
He did procreate.
But he's out of marriage. It's out of wedlock, right? Like dumb people make kids because they're just they're just like, I gotta do it. I gotta get the poison out, right? So dumb people look at the world. You mean to tell every look? If you're listening to me right now, look in the mirror. You're Goofy's son. That's how dumb you are.
Well, I'm just saying he's got to be way above the intelligence of an actual dog, which is Pluto, that acts like a.
So do you think that Pluto is mad at Goofy because Goofy gets to go inside the house, sleep inside a bed, has his own house?
No, Pluto doesn't even get.
Pluto flies planes for Christ's sake.
It's like asking if a dog gets mad that you have money. It doesn't even comprehend money.
I think my dog does get mad that I have money. I see him sometimes and I pull money out.
Adam,
his demeanor changes.
So, you worked at Disney World, and I want to talk about that for a second. So, when you are a character, I'm sure there's a ton of different rules that you have to follow, and
no masturbating.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That's rule one. I feel like that's right at the top.
They're real strict about that.
Yeah. They have to be.
When you're interacting with the kids as Pluto, you have to...
Not just kids, it's adults too.
Well, I know adults, but mostly...
You always discount that. Sam's over there
talking photos of all the characters.
That is a weird thing, because
Hold on, you're going to offend your producer.
He's already offended me. He said excessively tall was 5'9".
You called her excessively tall.
I don't mean it.
And now you're going to say that...
Go ahead, weirdo adults.
Disney adults are weirdos.
They are kind of weird.
Well, if you get excited about
like
the characters.
That you stuck to it. You're like, you know what?
I'm sticking to my guns.
It's how I feel.
Well, hold on.
That's how I feel in my core.
Because I'm with Adam here. Because if you're a kid, like there is this like magic behind the character.
There's no such thing as magic.
Where you're disassociating the fact that it is a human being in the suit, and you're kind of like, oh man, this is Pluto. Like there's still some sort of Santa Claus.
But it's still the
on.
essence, though. For adults, it's like the essence of the character is there. You have a performer there performing as the character. So what makes it not real?
Well, you're like, this is just some dude.
But why
or
say
girl.
that? Why not let go? Let go.
Yeah, but how can you
he's being Pluto right now, and I'm just going to let go. And he is Pluto. What makes it not real?
No.
There is no real Pluto, so him in the suit being Pluto is as real as any Pluto.
But that's how I felt.
Right.
I felt insecure, though, because I would be like, because when I was in the park or just walking around, I'd be like, yeah, I totally buy into it, whatever. But it was weird the first time I walked out in an animal costume and hugged other people's children, because I was thinking,
I always hug
You're
other
the
people's
weirdo.
children.
no way are people.
I hug everyone without. I hug every child I see.
Yeah, but it's
Because I want them to know they're loved. I want them to know that the world loves them and that they are the future. And
Daniel.
we must yes,
you're able to look at a Disney character in a suit, and then
I can do anything.
and then disassociate
Yes.
that there's a person inside there.
100%. I do it with my wife when we role play. Like I can pretend that I'm in the thing. When I lay in bed at
I
night,
didn't know
sometimes
that
I
was a
pretend
thing.
I'm in a space pod and I'm traveling to another universe and I have to stay still in the space pod, or the guards will see me move and then they'll come over and then they'll activate and pull me out of the space pod and put me in the brig. I can do anything with my imagination, Tom.
Yeah, but I'm always just like, there's a person in there, so
Yes,
it's just like,
but you wish it away. It's Sam.
They do.
When you go and you see, and God bless him, he's not there anymore. But when you go and you stand in the pavilion in the gazebo and you're hugging Duffy Bear as an adult, you're not pretending. I am not ever looking at Duffy Bear and going, "There's a man in there or woman." A lot of times, I think Duffy's small.
They're smaller.
There's a woman in Duffy. I don't think about that. I go, "Oh my God, I'm getting a photo with Duffy Bear," and I let go.
He's a child.
I let go.
is that what it is?
That's what I do.
He's a child.
Am I wrong? Sam, what am I doing wrong? I'm helping to
Sam,
defend
you
you.
don't think
you
that
got
way,
two
do you?
bullies on either side of you
Well,
trying to tell you are excessively tall Disney weirdo.
Yeah, well, it's not.
I am
Not inaccurate.
You're gonna
Let's
be paranoid by the human in there. I know Sam. Sam's like, there's a
paranoid. No.
Usually it's a sweet little girl, though.
She's like a little
whatever.
Asian
Yeah,
girl.
well, who
you know?
knows who's
Yeah.
in there? But
it's a tiny,
the fact that you
beautiful
don't
Asian
know
dancer.
makes you paranoid. There's like, I don't, you don't
Oh,
think
what, she
like
thinks
this
the
is
murderer's
Pluto.
in there? She's hogging Duffy
Only
Bear.
one time Scrooge McDuck looked at my boobs.
Wow. He's like, look at those boobs.
So Adam,
They're
let's
huge.
talk about improv. So when did you get into improv?
Yeah, so I was trying to kind of pivot away from doing the costume theme park thing.
Yeah.
So I started going to SAC Comedy Lab, and I auditioned and took classes, and I moved up pretty quickly, and I started performing professionally there in like 2012, and got my own two-man show there.
Yeah, it's a big deal. We knew, we still know, Shane Hartline, who I know.
Yeah, I started with him.
Yeah, Shane is a good buddy of ours. We've always followed him, even from when we were on the morning show, we knew him. Then when we did our own thing, he would still come on and connect, and we've always had a great relationship with him, and he's a SAC guy. And it's amazing to me that SAC has, especially in here, but not even just in Orlando, but beyond, it is kind of a big deal in improv, right?
Yeah, the big claim to fame, I guess, is Wayne Brady. Right?
Sure.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
big guy.
He's a big deal.
So when you're good, you say like I understand, and we talked to.
This is hard for you to wrap your brain around, I know, the improv thing.
No,
Even
no.
though you do it successfully for 13 years.
It's just different.
Yeah, it is different.
I think what we're doing, even though you're making stuff up
Yeah.
as it goes.
I tend to give you a little more leeway because I know that once I get you rolling, like sometimes when he and I are doing like some sort of improvisational conversation, it's usually about suicide or divorcing our wives.
Great
That's one of the
topics.
best.
Yeah, when I get him rolling on that, you literally start improving and becoming characters, and you're doing the whole thing. But it's
I'm
gotta
telling
be
you,
suicide
It's got to be suicide.
and divorce.
But
Those
I'm
are the
telling-
only
It's a
two
good
topics.
sign.
But
We are the
that's-
best at improving suicide divorce.
Yeah, but that's different.
No one can beat us in the country. I'll stake that's a Dan Dennis claim. You go to L.A., anywhere. You go Edinburgh. I don't care. You go across the globe. You bring any improvers in here. Nobody can beat us in suicide and divorce.
So when you ask for a suggestion from the audience, you're waiting for suicide.
it's the only one we can do. If they go, you're
They'll
okay.
find a way to
Yeah.
get to
If
suicide.
they're like, you're a gay fireman, I'm like, I can't do that.
Well,
I have to do suicide or divorce.
What's the difference between improv and me actually predicting what I think will happen because I'm
predicting a psychic.
Going to be now.
No, I'm just saying this is what I believe the highest percentage of likelihood of the events that will happen. I'm not making it up. I'm like giving my prediction of what I think will happen.
It's usually a wacky prediction.
Is that improv?
It's usually a wacky prediction.
How wacky is it? It ended up us in a horrible, depressing single dad apartment, and we show up with the girl in the back, the whole dirty teddy bear.
Back of the motorcycle. You know.
This is all based on real events.
Most people know our tricks are like it's like single dad, motorcycle, dirty teddy bear shows up at the party late, crashes through the door.
So Adam, so you get into improv, you start performing a two-man show, and you make the money through ticket sales. Like once,
I don't know how. How do you make money at SAC?
You don't.
Oh,
no, you do. They pay you like just for a stipend for the show. So you don't really get the ticket sales, but they pay you for putting on the show.
Gotcha.
You should go around to everyone in Orlando and tell people you're Chris D'Elia.
Oh my God!
I don't know why would you say that?
Just for fun. Grow your hair out. You can grow your hair out just a little bit and start telling people that, and man, you'd have some fun.
So
I told everybody I was Fat Rob Thomas one time.
So Adam,
when I had the haircut.
Let's talk about because I know that there has to be reps involved with getting better at improv. Obviously, we've seen that it's proven.
And
right?
you took classes, right?
I took classes.
Instructors. So I'm sure there's hours upon hours upon hours of classes he took.
The more you do it, the better you get at it. But it's like what's the guy, the British, the guy that freestales that we know,
Chris Turner.
Chris Turner.
We just came back from camping, and I think we're both
our brains are fine.
Our brains are dead. Right
I've
now.
lived in the woods for 2 days straight,
and I feel
drank
I feel
drugged.
extra crazy. I'm actually looking at you. Look like Pluto right now.
Lifting, my body is broken.
Oh my God!
But so with Chris Turner, we've talked to him about like how his brain works. He's like professional freestyle, rapper, and so he'll take it's the ultimate fast improv where you're rapping stuff that the audience is giving you words.
I also think he has formulas. You do that enough, you get
some formulas.
You get some pathways.
It's like a Rubik's Cube. You just figure out a bunch of different formulas and memorize them and just go that way. But your brain starts to work really fast putting these things together and to be able to perform that. And when we ask him about it, and obviously practice is part of it, but it's also how his brain works, which is you can't teach that to someone because people's brains can't do that, or not everybody's brain. So is that kind of the same with regular improv or comedy improv, where yes, there's practice, you get better at it, but some people are just born better at it than others because their brains work a little bit differently.
Yeah,
do you find that way?
I taught for like 7 years.
Wow.
So I encountered the whole spectrum of different kinds of performers, and I'd say there's probably like a reflexive thing that people have that just makes them funnier and more emotional and more connected and more present. And also my favorite improvisers are the ones who are a little mischievous, and you can't teach being mischievous, like the ones who want a train wreck to happen on purpose and they want things to go wrong. And I've done shows where the best performers are the ones who are trying to wreak havoc. And that's why I loved SAC, because most improv I've seen I've never really liked, but SAC had something going on where people were trying to do something that was like anti-improv and anti-humor. I remember doing a scene where every time I tried to start it, and my friend would pull the curtain. So it just never started, and that became the running bit.
I love stuff like that.
So, do you think that because I've tried to analyze?
Yeah, we know
everything. Yeah. So, and I started looking at myself, and
let go.
And I think there is a portion of like me being good at this job that
no one ever said that.
That is, it was not to say good. It's just decent enough to get where I'm at today.
Both of us. We're functioning.
I'm here doing it for a living, I guess. Whatever.
Functioning talkaholics. Put that on a billboard
or a pillow.
To say I'm good is not true.
I think you're good,
but I am terrified of awkward situations. situations.
Yes.
So I'll do whatever it takes to not be in an awkward situation. And so,
even if it's still awkward.
And some of that is forcing myself to make something funny instead of turn it awkward. You see what I'm saying? Like, so even on the radio, like if instead, like if dying or like
we're on the radio right now.
No, I know, but not really.
No, we're not.
Are we?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
The stream is streaming. I hope they play it.
It's like bombing or something, like when you bomb, it's awkward, and I'm terrified of that.
Yeah.
So I'll figure out a way to
pull your pants down, whatever it takes.
Yeah, to take bombing and take that energy and flip it to funny in some way, just so it doesn't bomb. Because standing there bombing
is not an option.
Yeah. It's our joke is just standing there and you can't.
Or you just pee your pants. That's always been our joke. That's another one we forgot. Yeah, we forgot that when it's divorce, suicide, and you're standing there and everyone's like, "Well, are you going to say something?" And you're like,
"Well," or you're in a crowd. Yeah. So, do you find that some people are good at improv just because they're terrified of being in the awkward situation of saying something not funny and the crowd being
I think it's actually a tool. It's I think most successful improvisers seek out the embarrassing moments and they try to toe that line of just about making an idiot of themselves. And that's where a lot of fertile creative ground is, I find. That you kind of want to put yourself in these dangerous situations where you just seek it out. And my brain is sort of trained to find these awkward moments and embrace them and just harvest them and explore them. Actually, to a detriment. Sometimes in public, I'll walk around and I think there's a bit happening and a pattern happening and everyone's in on it. But I'm the only one who's in on it. Like, I was at Chipotle.
Oh, he's crazy.
That helps. That helps.
Yeah, no, that's the first person that we've ever been in here that fully understands me.
Yeah.
Wow.
This guy.
I feel you're not alone.
I get this guy.
That's Daniel's side of the improv.
I'm always in a bit, man. I'm at Chipotle. I'm walking around. I'm looking at.
I was at Chipotle, and the weirdest thing happened where this lady was at the cash register. Wait, she was about to order, and this guy comes in. This hero comes in and goes, "Did anybody leave their lights on to a Ford Focus?" And she goes, "I have a Ford Focus that's the same description." And he was like, "Yeah, your lights are on." And she looked at him and she said, "No, they're not." And I'm thinking, okay, so I'm thinking everyone thinks this is crazy. So I look at the guy and I point, "Liar! This man's a liar!"
So you start effing around.
And I thought everyone was going to go, "Liar!"
Yeah, but they didn't. They were tasing you at the Chipotle.
I'm a military veteran. I'm not
trying to start a riot.
I'll vote for this country.
Throws you through the register.
These are the things we love, though, right? He starts splashing the green Tabasco. You ever had the green Tabasco?
I'm all about it.
Dude, the green Tabasco is where I'm just telling everybody right now. Green Tabasco. Try it. It's the best. It's so tangy.
Where you're smashing your head into the tortilla press.
Hot.
It's over
You know what he said?
What he said?
And when everything calmed down.
Yeah.
And I thought,
are you Pluto?
Yeah. I think I know your embrace.
Yeah.
He goes, "This guy." That's all he said. And then I had to stand because then he was in line next to me.
And it was so awkward. Oh, if you'd have been there and he did all this, what are you doing? You run out of Chipotle.
I would have walked out.
Yeah, you don't even get your burrito. They got the new barbacoa. It is a corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer, is here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
So a couple things.
Yeah.
We've got Sanford Porch Fest this Saturday. We've got a porch at our Air T&D.
Yep, we are porch number 14 if you got a map and you're trying to find us, but I don't think you're having any problem.
You can print the map out at sanfordporchfest.org.
Exactly, and I don't think you're having any problems finding us because we'll have a slightly, and by slightly I mean heavily decorated porch.
Yeah, and there's trolley stops all near the different houses, and of course it's free, so just come out and we'll be at the house all day if you want to hang out with us, or people are encouraging to bring your coolers and your camping chairs.
Stroll the streets. And
then on Sunday early is Samantha's 6-year anniversary party at Rock Pit Brewing. That's at noon.
6 years of Samantha and her husband and their guests doing an independent podcast. Well done.
And then later on that day at the Improv, theimprovorlando.com, our friend and comedian David Jolly is headlining at the Improv.
Hey, that's pretty big. Thank y'all so much.
Wow. Are you nervous, man, that you're doing a headlining show at the Orlando Improv?
I get nervous every time even an open mic. You're always going to be nervous when you're serious about your craft.
Yeah. But, I mean, if it's a really small crowd and it doesn't matter, less nervous, right?
What?
People there.
And then Jolly shows up
you're
today.
like, what? No one's going to see this.
He shows up and he's like, Dan, I brought a white woman. And you did.
That made me nervous.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, and then
I should have warned y'all about the white woman. I'm proud.
And she couldn't find their way in here, and then Jolly's like, these dumbass white women. He didn't say dumbass. I promise. He didn't say dumbass. I added that to make it spicier.
I like when you're racist against white people because then I can
play.
I can jump in
You wanna play?
and then openly and it's fine. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
You're right. So stupid.
Sarah's here. How you doing, Sarah?
Hey.
So Sarah, I like you already because you did something that I like when people do, and I'll explain.
Okay. I think I know where you're going.
A former guest from today brought in some homemade concoctions, some liquids.
Yeah.
I mean, they were.
They're in different bottles, and like
there's like
one of them's a Powerade,
couple of Kratom's.
Yeah. And I got the run through, and I was loosely listening.
Which is the worst person to tell what's going on is Tom. When me and Dan were like, "What is this?" and Tom's like, "I don't know. There's Kratom. There's Kava.
There's 4 shot glasses, which appear to be butter. 4 little shot glasses of butter.
Look like the garlic sauce from Papa John's.
It does look like Papa John's garlic.
I almost drank it.
That's apparently the strong one. They're like, this one now. Oh, this one is blow
burn your lips off.
And then so all these different concoctions of homemade liquids in different containers. And Sarah's like, I see this one says Kava. And I'm like, Sarah, listen, I just met you. I'm going to give you a warning. Some other people that I just met today brought this in for us as a gift.
I mean, we don't know where they got it.
Yeah.
Great people. They seem like great people.
They were great people. Yeah, they're great.
I don't think it's poison, but
we cannot guarantee
you. I can't rule it out.
And Sarah looked at me. She took in the information and drank
Went for
it like
anyway.
I'm like, I like Sarah.
Yeah.
That means
and today's your birthday, right?
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday!
Oh my God, you're gonna die on your birthday! Oh my God! I've always wanted to meet somebody who's gonna die on their birthday.
So I want that. That sounds good. Not today, but
Jolly,
someday.
Sarah, how did you guys meet each other? What is your connection here?
This isn't your
I'm
girlfriend.
Confused.
No. Sarah, she writes. She's a writer for Orlando Weekly, Orlando Magazine, and she supports the comedy community in Orlando so much to a whole nother level. And I was telling her, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go on my Pottenham show. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna let me promote a little bit about my show.
Did you know you would partners with Jolly?
I did.
Y'all family, man. You know y'all
signed a contract.
Business partners.
Business partners.
No, partners, not business, but partners.
Partners.
We partners.
Kratom partners.
I'm like, we're like your white brothers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're like your brothers from another mother.
Yeah.
That happened to be Caucasian.
Partners.
Partners. Y'all my partners.
It'd have to be another mother and father.
Yeah.
We should throw that in.
Adopted.
We wouldn't come out this white if it was the same father.
It'd be a little more like
How do you know
Mahomes?
One of y'all might be mixed. What if
three
you
sugars?
Tom is not. We've done the DNA test.
You come out like a Mahomes or something like that. Yeah,
Tom is definitely 200% white.
Yeah. Look at those eyes.
I'm not.
That's your dancing.
I feel like just being born in Miami makes me a little
200%.
Yeah, but that's brown.
I give you one for you.
If I was born in like Iowa, I'd be
300% white.
Who's whiter?
Okay, who's whiter?
Well,
Me or Tom?
Tom.
Me.
You are whiter than Tom?
I think so.
You're pretty white.
I'm Whitey McWhiterton.
Yeah, and you're a writer. Like, I can't spell or write.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
No. So that brings down my whiteness, I feel.
I don't know.
That's racist.
That is racist.
That brings it back up. Even it back out.
Just like that.
Back to 200. All right.
Done a lot of bad.
No, Sarah pretty white though, because if you see her like,
well, she's wearing Mardi Gras beads, and that's as white as it comes, right? Only white people white people love Mardi Gras beads. Black people, like, whatever.
That's not what I witnessed.
Really?
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, like Mardi Gras around here. I'm not talking about in Louisiana, just because of percentages.
No, she just came back from Mardi
really?
Gras.
I know,
You
every year.
saw black people?
Every year.
Yeah, black people with.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you say black people are weird?
Black people are weird. Okay. I got rich weirdos tattoo right here.
Why that? What do you have?
Like the theater troupe?
Yeah.
Rich weirdos right here.
Is that a theater troupe?
Yeah, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Rich weirdos?
Why did you?
Weird when you find out your tattoo means something.
Why did you get?
I mean, they're great.
Because I was having a moment one day, right? And I was having a moment, and I was like, "Hey, I need to go get a tattoo." And I went and got a tattoo that said "rich." I just felt like a rich weirdo.
Oh,
why did you get it in Monster Magnet font? Isn't that like the Monster Magnet font?
I'm probably going to get it covered up.
Oh, you talked him into covering it up.
Oh, don't cover it up. I covered up a tattoo.
Which one?
Tom told me I would.
How does someone feel like a rich weirdo?
You'd have to be rich first. Step one.
He was manifesting. He was manifesting with.
But that's what I kind of thought he might be. Were you manifesting that you would be rich?
At that moment, I was in my 20s, but I knew where I wanted to go. I think weirdo is like
a compliment.
We all weird a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you did something very weird in getting a random rich weirdo's tattoo.
Yeah,
that's pretty weird.
I got my tattoo in just a random moment.
What did you get?
Okay, so I don't know what it is.
Oh wow, you guys are one-upping each other with the weird tattoos.
You got
When I was in my 20s, so like this was like 25 years ago, I went with my roommate downtown because she wanted to get a tattoo changed to remove somebody's name or something.
Right.
No, she wanted to get the rose on her ankle more defined. It had gotten sloppy over time.
Yeah.
So
you know how you do that with your ankle tattoos? It's by pushing garbage down into garbage bags. It roughs up your ankles.
You're working out.
So I went with her, and then while I was there, I looked on the wall of all these designs. And I said,
the Flash designs.
I'm going to get that one.
All right.
And that was it. I got it.
It's a Hatchet Man.
What did you get, a BBC?
It's just a dumb little design tramp stamp.
That's in an intimate spot, in an intimate area.
Not really that intimate.
I have like
your lower back?
I can show you later in the bathroom, but I have a clover. I have a clover in my pubic bone.
Man, I hope this is
a little clover, like a little, and then right underneath it says "Lucky You."
You should.
I was really into Lucky Jeans at the time.
Is this true?
No, not true. Totally not true.
That's really disappointing.
No, I don't have that.
I thought we had something in
common. I have a lot of other tattoos, but not any on my and not any on my naughty areas.
Sarah, I'm curious to how you feel about the new AI like Chat GPT and then all the word AIs that are out there because you're
Do you
writer.
think they're coming for your job? That's what he's asking.
They can't. So listen. So first of all, at this present moment, they have data up to 2021. So anything that's happened recently is very patchy.
Okay.
Another thing is the storytelling is weak. If I go to a performance, whether it's comedy or music, and I observe what's happening and I interview people and I do a bunch of research about real details and specifics around that performer and then write a story, it has so much more color and shape and holds so much interest than anything that Chat GPT can deliver.
No.
So I'm like, whatever with that.
I 100% believe that.
You gonna believe a lady swigging that kratom juice?
No. But just like fast food realized and a lot of other giant corporations, they're just like, we could do this with real chicken or pink slime.
Yeah, to streamline everything.
Let's go with whatever the cheapest option is.
I like pink slime.
And so
I do too.
So,
you know what? I love competition though.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm like, bring it, whatever it is.
But what if the competition will crush your skull? Because there's no way you can never beat it.
Or if you're a writer for the Weekly, or Mr. Weekly is like, all right, I'm
Mr. Weekly, and I call you, and I'm so annoying. Please advertise.
I can have a really good writer do the research and write a good piece, or Chat GPT in 2 seconds can just S out something, and I'll put it there, and people will be like,
well, I think the real winners are going to be the writers that use Chat GPT.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can source good information from it. I sometimes do that.
Well, for me,
but I would never use Chat GPT's tone of voice or language.
Yeah, I would let it write the bulk of it, and then I'd throw in some of my signature lines.
So the next generation of editors and writers might do that more.
Yeah.
But my Mr. Weekly is Matthew Moyer, who is the entertainment editor there, and he's serious about journalism, and he cares about stories, and so do I, and so this is good. I don't know what'll happen in 20 years.
You guys are the two that care. No one else does anymore.
It's only y'all two, definitely.
Well, Sarah, do you think there'll be, because I had this theory that 10 years from now, when this technology gets better and better, that they'll have to preface each article, be like computer written or human written, and then let society determine what they like to read more. You know what I'm saying?
They're going to like the Chat GPT more because a lot of people don't like to think.
That's a simple read.
See, that's what I'm afraid
of. Simple read.
Well,
I'm at war with that.
Okay, yeah, but we should be, because it's the dumbing down of society. I mean, we're moving towards the damn idiocracy.
Could it be dumber? Could it be dumber?
This is coming from a guy that doesn't read.
It's coming from me. It can't be dumber.
But we're going to change that. I'm going to start giving you books.
No, he'll just throw them in the trash.
He'll have to burn them as bonfire.
Wait, I'm going to start reading you books.
Okay, well,
my God. At night?
That's going to
What's
get
his
weird.
wife going to say?
What's she going to say?
The lady's at the window again.
See, this is...
I would do that. I would do that.
I think it's going to be a tool like anything else, right? Why not? It's not going to be writing full articles. The article still has to be written and put somewhere by some editor, right? That's going to be the safeguard.
Oh, no, that can all be automated.
No, I know that, but
be automated.
People are going to not want that. I don't think.
Or they care. That's. I
think they will. I think they already do care.
Hey, I just want to let you know that Crystal got them hands. If you think you're going to be reading to Tom, she going to put them hands on you.
Okay, that's fair.
She is from Miami.
Yeah. I think she wouldn't mind anybody reading to me.
I did not.
Sexual thing, Jolly.
I did not mean this as an intimate gesture.
Yeah, we're just joking.
We're going to do this at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that takes all the sex out.
I can still get a boner at 11.
Brunch sex.
Some would say my boners are better at 11. They call me 11 a.m. boner man.
That's I'm just joking, Sarah. When you drank that juice, I knew you were a baller.
As soon as you started drinking, I was like, yes, she's drinking the potion.
I didn't care. You were like, anything
no alcohol
goes.
in it.
I don't honestly.
I don't know what's in it.
It's kava, and I feel like we should shout out whoever made it, which I don't remember, but it's very good.
Who knows?
So if your heart's...
I forgot their names. Okay, so back to why people won't care. Is because
they're dumb.
And is because I've lived through a small portion of time where, and this happened, let's say pre-pandemic, maybe 2012 through 14. Anyway, where people just started posting videos that were fake all over, and they still do it now, but there was a time where it was like everywhere was the fake video. Remember, even they started commercializing it, where they would fake the commercials of the football players throwing the football out of
David Beckham had a few of them.
But
they're not as bad now, right?
Well,
which would lead me to believe that people do care.
But at the time, there was a while where you would point out that the video was fake, and then people would be like, yeah, but it's still funny, or something like that. I'm like, what? Doesn't the fact that it's fake eliminate any
for me,
comedy?
For me, Yeah.
Like, because the only reason it's funny is because you thought it was real or amazing. If it's fake, then it's a nothing. It should be, and then you should be embarrassed by the fact that you thought it was real, then reposted it, but they're not. So that tells me that there's a certain portion of society that doesn't care.
But it's
about
not the whole
anything.
portion of society.
It isn't.
And that's what I want to always be here to say, is because based on everything that you say, we get to the end answer is always that people don't care and there's no way out of this.
Is it the majority or the minority? I don't know.
I think the minority.
Hey, so I had to look it up to get the names right, but there was a rapper who was signed by Capitol Records who was actually an AI fabrication, FN Mika.
Oh, yeah. Then they dropped him.
A black avatar voiced by a white man.
Yeah, he was signed by
It was very
Capitol.
controversial, and then the label dropped.
Y'all didn't hear about that?
Figment.
No.
So
Last year.
it was an AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it the?
It was a whole rapper.
And the voice was AI, like a computer voice rapping, or no?
So you know what?
I remember that.
This is something to
They
read more
dropped
about.
him, though. They dropped him because he said some racist stuff.
It's
possible. But it was a real person. They were using AI to write the raps.
You know what? This is all good questions. What they might have done is extracted the white guy's voice and put it into the AI, whatever the algorithm thing, and then that voice was fueled by AI lyrics.
Okay,
AI generated lyrics.
But Buddy was hot. He had like 1 million followers. He was hot.
Yeah, the fact that he had 1 million followers.
You should be able to drop a couple N-bombs with it. You know, like.
He was fine as hell, too. Look.
The AI?
Is it a computer generated?
I didn't know what you were talking about.
What is going on
segment
right
ever.
Well, it goes to like you start getting into like deep fakes and stuff, and like even where they've been doing this with Photoshop, with like putting celebrities' faces on different nude bodies and saying, "Look at this this celebrity nude, but it's not real."
In the Super Bowl, didn't they do a Breaking Bad commercial that was just they're like changing things just a little bit from the series, and
they just
like Walter White's like holding Doritos,
or
something.
They use it, yeah. Well, that tells me that we'll get to the point where you can't distinguish whether it's AI or real life.
I wonder if that will amplify people wanting.
Here is that there's such a thing as social evolution, which I reject. We're not going to keep going. There was a time when people used guillotines to behead others. I'm sure that still happens,
you
right?
Use lasers now.
And that doesn't mean that that's the direction that society is going. It means for a period of time people were strange, and then they stopped doing that mostly, and they found other creative ways to kill each other.
I like that theory that
here comes a here's why you're wrong.
no.
I get that all the time. You're going to love this. You're going to love this.
Here we go.
And he's never going to ever admit that he could be wrong.
No, I will. But
this sounds like a challenge.
I like the having an optimistic view towards the future and being like, well, maybe it's not all bad. Like the when they recently invented fusion, or at least proved that they could do it,
right.
And I was like, whoa, that tells me that there's hope for our future. We're not going to pollute our Earth till death. That maybe we can start using
get going.
Fusion energy, and then some sort of hope, because all I've been fed for the past 20 years is, look, we're dying. Look at this ice. We're melting, dying, and then it's like, and there's nothing we can do unless we stop emissions by 50% by the year 2025. I'm like, well, that ain't happening. Like, I'm looking around, I'm like, not doing it. And so I do want optimistic stories, but I also believe that people are lazy, and they'll do whatever the laziest thing is inherently for the most part. And then it's like, if we start using computers and like robots and everything to do I feel like we'll continue to go that route rather than stand and say, like, hey, hold on, society,
enough is enough.
Like, let's do the hard thing.
We gotta draw a line in the sand.
Like, we have to do the hard thing as human beings to make ourselves better. Like, let's all do. And I just don't believe
it could
that people
happen differently. Let me pose a theory, or an idea, just a figment of my imagination.
All right.
It's possible that people will get like stupider and stupider, right, and more like sheep, and just do whatever. And then some really
sheeples. I've heard this.
Yes, and then
I've been called this. Maybe.
Really smart leader comes along and says, "I'm going to take advantage of everybody's stupidity by making them do really smart things." And I'm going to get them to read, and I'm going to make them feel that the only way to be successful is to be an avid reader. I like that kind of leader.
Or you
if there's no money or followers who give you free sex behind them, leaders.
Free sex for everybody who reads a book.
With
Jolly.
It's the new book.
No, I'm not having sex with all them people.
Look, every leader.
That's way too many. I want them all them bodies on me.
Every leader that I've seen has been motivated by money.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry. I don't know how we got on this topic.
We're diving in here deep. Jolly shows up with a random white lady from the weekend. I don't know what's happening.
So, Jolly,
I'm not that random. We are very good friends, for real.
No, that's my partner, for real.
Well, and what kind of business? Or just...
It's like the sense
Just
we were
life
talking about
itself.
before. We really, from the get, really connected, understood each other.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Knew a bunch of people in
She
common,
helps me
too.
with a lot of stuff I got going on. Like my social media is going crazy.
What's going on with your social media? What's been going on?
Like every time I drop something, it's like 90,000 views in like 2 days.
a lot.
Really?
Like it's going crazy.
That's good.
Well, teach me how to do that.
Yeah. Teach me how to Dougie.
Yeah, because I think I turn that into some money.
Hey, hey, we need to talk about that.
Yeah, okay. All right.
No, I'm serious.
We're here. We're
Like,
talking.
y'all-
That's what I'm talking about.
We're talking.
I can turn it into some money here.
But it's like it's going crazy and like
You gotta
like,
stop saying the M word though. Like that.
the N word.
No, the M word.
Yeah, for little people.
Yeah.
You say it a lot.
yeah.
I can't say that.
No, you can say
You
it.
can say it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm saying it's bad for
business.
for the bottom line of the business.
get what you're saying.
I
Yes.
need to get some sponsors in there. You gotta tone it down.
I call them the smaller unfortunate. You can call them that. Or unfortunates. What about unfortunates?
So
That's a better name.
when you post, what gets the most hits when you post? It's the M word. I knew it.
I know, but you
It's the number one.
but I never
all
say
your
the
videos
M
are
word.
just you. It's okay. Here's how
I
your
never
video,
say
I
the
watch
M
your
word.
videos all the time, maybe exclusively.
Have I said the M word a couple times?
No, but all of the features in your videos, it starts with an unfortunate person doing something, dancing, rubbing their belly, in a wheelchair. They're pointing their canes at the sky or something, and then it cuts to you, and you're like, I knew you lying. And I laugh and I laugh. That's how simple I am.
That's hard to sell. That goes back to our theory of society dying.
It's hard to get SunTrust or Truist to buy.
It is like I know you lied.
Like this person's got a cane.
Double cane in a wheelchair and was rubbing her belly.
They're like, I can't give money to that.
That's good times, though.
I know,
Yes.
90,000. But
That's taken away
zero
from
money.
us being Americans. I think we can't be Americans anymore.
Oh, you can be.
Remember when you could laugh at
I know who this sounds like.
Remember you can smoke
my tattoo?
cigarettes at Quincy's? Remember you can smoke cigarettes in Quincy's?
I don't remember that.
How old are you? You smoke cigarettes in Quincy?
I remember you could smoke cigarettes in Burger King.
Yeah, right? You know?
Yeah, they took that away.
They took
They're taking everything.
They trying to take everything.
Hold on, I can monetize
Who's
that.
they?
America.
Who is they? They take
They,
everything.
the system, baby.
Oh, God. It's good to name names.
When white people say they, I know who they mean.
I know.
I think they are the white people.
Yeah, the government.
I think we figured it
The
out.
government, the whites.
I think it's really good to name names. I think that as long as
Whoa,
it's nebulous.
Well, I want to scream Obama, but I can't anymore.
Yeah, you can't. You don't make sense.
He just windsurfed into the... Where did he go?
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, our producer. Almost always here, our fearful producer, Samantha. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
Man, a lot to be fearful about lately. It's popping off around
been
here.
crazy
And then
lately.
you're all up in that trial, the Murdoch trial. You're
Oh,
all into
yeah.
that. Fueling.
Fueling the fear.
And he took the stand.
It's all murder.
He took the stand and she
Idiot.
screamed. He took the stand and we all ran in there.
My parents are all in.
Yeah, well, we're all
Good.
into it. You sucked me into it. I didn't even know what it is. I just thought these goofy redheaded people are shooting each other.
Well, you're not wrong.
I'm sorry, no offense. And
We're not all that shooty. Yeah.
yeah, not all you gingers have gone nuts.
It's a survival technique.
Yeah, they have no souls. I read that on South Park told me that.
I now understand because from listening to that trial every day, now I'm like, is Don Price going to kill us? I'm like, who's up next?
Oh, he poisoned our sons.
It is true that since Samantha, and we'll get to our guest
The
here in a
wheelhouse
second.
is going to kill us.
Jordan Foley, the wheelhouse.
kill house.
Tyler from one of the Tyler wheelhouses here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the spokes.
Yeah, as we have listened to the Murdoch trial, we collectively, the three of us, have become more paranoid. There was a knock at the door the other day, and I turned all the lights off and hid in the bathroom. I was there alone. It's like it does fuel your paranoia. Okay, let's get to what we want to talk about, which is our guest, Jordan Foley, and the Wheelhouse. We had him on when? 3 weeks ago?
About
January.
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago. You released your single.
Yeah,
we've released two since then. Yeah,
two since then, and
slinging the singles.
Yeah,
throwing them out.
So you guys have been super busy. How's it been going? How has the release been? Is it what you expected? Are you exhausted? What's going on?
All the above.
Yeah.
No, it was. We're definitely exhausted in a good way. We've been really busy.
Yeah, good busy. Grateful busy.
Yeah, last Friday we played. Well, so 2 weeks ago we played at Animaceres. It was a festival out in Brooksville.
Okay.
That was a lot of fun.
Tons of fun.
And then last Friday, we played at Will's Pub to a sold-out show with Mike and the Moon Pies and Joshua Ray Walker.
Yep.
At the end of the set, I literally looked up and was like, holy this is the biggest crowd I've ever seen here at Will's Pub.
Yeah.
Nuts to butts, for
and
sure.
we were, and like, the other two bands had a lot of gear. So we were really tight. It was like really tight musically, which is cool. Yeah. But also like Tyler was literally breathing down my neck. So we were like just playing. But it was a lot of fun. And my voice is a little shot now. So I'm like trying to recover for Porch Fest.
I'll turn your mic down really, really low. You have to work really hard.
Lots of compression.
Let's talk about Brooksville for a second.
I blew my voice out in Brooksville. I did. We were playing in a goof rock band, and I was singing some stupid song, and that's where I ruptured my vocal cord.
Really?
Oh, man.
Yeah, in Brooksville, because it was so smoky and so hot and humid in there, and I was kind of like I was screaming and acting stupid, and I hurt myself.
You're literally in the middle of nowhere when you like get into Brooksville.
Well, I was about to say, I've been going to Brooksville every year of my life for 32 years.
Wow.
Maybe more. Yeah. And only to go ride four-wheelers with my family in Croom Forest.
That's
the only thing that I know about Brooksville. I've never been to the town of Brooksville.
Go.
I know nothing about Brooksville.
God,
I didn't even know people live
crazy.
there.
They have a clothespin museum.
It's like middle of nowhere.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
So it was at this ranch it used to be called the Sertoma Youth Ranch. They changed the name to Florida Sand Music Ranch.
Yeah.
Oh, so all the kids that were getting help there because of their problems, they were like, we don't care anymore.
Yeah, we don't care about the youth
anymore. We need a place to party with some music.
Screw the youth.
Yeah.
We want hippie. We want hippie music.
Get some jam bands in here.
It was, but what's cool is Chris Bell, who used to play in Thomas One and the Believers. He's been running this festival 32 seasons.
Wow.
So that was the 32nd one
in Brooksville.
And like when you get out there, it's just nothing. Like it's just a bunch of farmland.
Yeah.
And I literally got we all drove separate, and I pulled up, and I was like, why, am I lost? Like, are we?
Yeah, it comes out.
It felt like Wayne's World 2. Like if you build it, they will come kind of deal.
It's my favorite movie.
Was there a lot of people that showed up?
It was packed. Yeah, it was a decent crowd, and they were there for like 4 days.
Yeah, they host a bunch of different festivals out there.
I was going to say, I'm looking at these festivals out in Brooksville. There's a ton.
Orange Blossom Jamboree.
Riverhawk Music Fest, Orange Blossom Jamboree.
Yeah, the Ronald Reagan Jelly Bean Festivals out there.
They do have Sober
We
Stock.
headline that too, yeah.
Sober Stock. Oh my God, it's the most quiet. It's so quiet at Sober Stock.
So like headphone disco.
Everyone's back at their tent by 7 p.m. Yeah.
It does
responsible stock.
It does make sense. Like comedians have told me this before. It's like when you perform at places that normally people don't, or acts don't come through, like a lot more people will show up because they're like, whoa, something's happening.
Yeah. They're more fortunate. Absolutely. I've been on tour with other acts where you get into these tiny towns and the place fills up because they're like, what made you stop by this town? We're just grateful to have live music. There's other people out there.
I was just getting the mail.
I heard some electric guitar playing down the street.
I heard that Git box. I need to come down and check it out.
On the opposite end of that, I've heard L.A. is horrible to perform in because everybody's performing
every night.
Every night. And then every night there's some famous comedian that's world famous that's like playing.
And then you're too much talking too loud at the bar while he's doing
it. Exactly.
Yeah. So if you get too much, is actually counterintuitive to, I feel like, the appreciation of the audience. Like they are way more appreciative when you don't, they don't get that much.
I feel like these festivals have a lot of dirty, sweaty tent sex.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
I am 46 years old. I have never
had sex with a tent.
I don't believe I have ever had tent sex.
Me neither. Now that I think about it.
And I feel like I should.
I'm also a virgin, though. I'm a virgin. So.
Oh, wow. This is the year.
This is the year, guys. In a tent. It's going to happen in a tent.
So you guys are going to be performing at Porch Fest.
Yeah.
And Saturday, we've been promoting it all week.
We are Porch 14. There's 17 porches. You
Awesome.
stroll
I saw
through
Shelly came on, and Kat. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
friends of ours.
So I wanted to ask you guys, because there's so many musicians that are performing at Porch Fest, and it's really cool that everybody just agreed to do it.
And donates their time.
Oh, yeah.
It's all nonprofit, and Porch Fest is run as a nonprofit, so it's all for good.
If we had a band, we'd be like, we don't get paid? No way. I'm out.
But I'm sure you guys have, run across this before, where there's all these, because we've deal with it. It's like we can't promote everybody's charity, everybody's benefit and stuff. There's too many, and then it's like, well, all of our time would be consumed with just promotion of charities and benefits. So I'm sure you get asked to play a lot of these. Why'd you choose Porch Fest?
One if you want.
Well, this man just gives me dates, and I'm like, I'll be there.
I like that. Good answer. That's a good answer. Yeah.
Please say yes. Please say yes.
I played Porch Fest with a couple different artists over the years, but we're from Sanford. We're Sanford.
We do live in Sanford.
It's a hometown thing for sure, but it's always been. It's just a great. It's easy as this. It's very fun. It's chaotic. It's a ton of people. Parking's hell, but it is simply just everyone that sponsors porches or like hosts the porch. Like if it's their home, they're super nice.
That's us. We're so nice.
Well, for the most part,
we're the heroes of the Porch 14. It's like we're offering our Mi Casa y Su Casa. We are welcoming. Jesus said, "Let the little children come unto me." We are heroes.
We're going to be the opposite. I'm going to be standing there with my AK crystal.
Oh, no. It's like the lady and the guy.
Yeah, we're going to be the lady and the guy.
I'll just like the guy.
No, just someone sitting on a rocking chair.
I'll blast your woke face off.
There's some people around here that like it.
You will bring a crowd. You will bring a part of Sanford will show up.
Yeah.
If we had boat access, we'd have more people.
They're like, this isn't big enough. We need to go to the airport.
We need more flags.
Yeah.
We're closer to the river. They like us anyway. So it's like an easy thing to be involved in. Plus, you guys live in Sanford. That makes it easier.
It makes
you ever
it
go
easier.
to Lee's Chicken? Is it Lee's there?
Yeah, Lee's famous for
Yeah. Lee's. Do you ever eat any Lee's chicken? I feel like every time I drive through Sanford and I see it, I feel like, you know what? In order to complete my trip, I must get some. I haven't had fried chicken. It's like, when's the last time you had fried chicken?
It's been a while.
I think it's been like 4 years for me since
I keep trying to go to Jollibee or Jollibee.
They just opened up Bojangles there, so that's a problem.
Do you guys like fried chicken? Are you fried chicken people?
I had a Tuesday.
I'm a fried chicken guy.
I do like chicken.
They got a Bojangles?
They just opened.
Now, you remember we got all our
a nice Bojangles.
We got all the Bojangles in Orlando right before the pandemic. And I want to say like a year. And then they let them roll for about a year. Yeah. And then they shut them all down.
Now, this one opened up.
They're like, kill them all.
Literally 2 months ago.
Yeah. Right.
And I had never had a Bojangles, fun fact.
It's good.
I've just never been. And so I was like...
Trying to think of what like a nice Bojangles looks like. I mean, it's just, do I want a nice? I want kind of a. I want it to be a little grimy.
It should be.
It's got to be
a little weird. Yeah,
but it's like all the screens. All the screens
cast iron skillet.
They're all digital screens, multiple lanes.
Not my Bojangles.
Very Chick-fil-A-esque, but not Chick-fil-A-esque.
Yeah.
Don't take the screen. I don't like the screen. There's no soul in the screen.
No soul in the screen. No.
Yeah, I need someone mad yelling at me. So, what do you guys got going on? Like, of course, Porch Fest, and then do you go on another tour soon, or you sticking local?
We are. So this month has been really busy locally. With the Animaceris and then Will's Pub show and then Sanford Porch Fest. And then the band doesn't have... We do have a show that we'll go ahead and announce it. We're playing at the Conduit.
Okay.
It's the... Will Walker and the group, they bought it and turned the Haven into this new venue.
Oh, really?
The old Haven location.
Good old Haven. In Winter Park. So... They brought in friends of ours, actually, a band called Brother Hawk. They're from Atlanta, which is crazy to think that they're friends of ours. But we have become close with them. They're so good. They're like heavy rock with a little bit of blues and soul.
All right. And
what's
the name of them again?
Brother Hawk.
Okay, add that to your list.
Add that to
if
the
you're
list
listening
for
to Jordan and his band,
they're so good. So we're going to be playing with them March 26th at the Conduit.
Nice.
And then March 31st, Tyler and I are opening for the Steel Drivers at Tuffy's.
Wow.
Okay.
Good Lord, you're busy, dude.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
So let's talk
It's
about
been
can
pretty
we talk
cool.
about the voice for a second?
Heck
How do
yeah.
you arrest it?
I don't know.
I mean, doing this is bad.
This
He
is a
doesn't.
terrible idea. I don't.
He
Yeah,
wakes up every morning going, not today.
I hit the same notes every morning. I've been doing the Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
And I try to see if I can do like different levels of it. And yeah, no, I have not been resting it the way that I should.
Get you some throat coat.
I do the throat coat. I
it's,
do the honey. I drink a lot of water. I have Ricola in my pocket.
Is there any performance-enhancing drugs?
Yes.
for
I said that
vocalists?
at practice last night. I was like, if you guys know of any steroids that could just like
There's got to
Right.
be some
just
sort of.
shoot it right in my neck.
Yeah, but it makes your throat balls get real small.
I'll
Makes a
take it,
tiny
man.
throat balls.
I will take the
Like,
throat balls.
there's got to be some, because
The dumbest person in the world.
there's got to be some. You know how like Patrick Mahomes, like you see.
I
him,
don't like Patrick Mahomes.
You see him get hurt
Me
in the
neither.
Super Bowl, and then he's limping around screaming.
No,
You're
it was
like,
scripted.
I thought that was
That
fake.
was
like,
scripted.
I lost.
Fake.
No, I'm screaming. I lost, and then he goes into halftime, and then
He's
comes out and he
fine.
I literally,
He was
I'm
high as hell.
not one,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm a big Steelers fan. I am not one to sit here and say that everything was scripted. I mean, we could go back to Mason Rudolph and all the bad
no,
things
what
that have
have you
happened. But when I watched Mahomes in the Super Bowl and he would just like run, get a touchdown, and then he would like limp, I'm like, dude, you're faking it.
Yeah.
The NFL told you to.
Well, he was so smooth, like he limped, and
Yeah.
then you know how I've talked to you about this. You know how like when he's in the pocket, he's very smooth, and he kind
Yeah.
of hovers around like he's on one of those boards
And he
that
hobbles.
annoying. Yeah, but then he'll do that, and then he'll run really fast, and then once his mind switches, like, oh, I'm hurt again.
I'm hurt.
And then he
Well,
he limps. I'm like, I don't think that's.
I'm
real.
going to start doing that, and when I record, like when I go to break, I'm like,
Yeah.
and then I'll be like, and then people are like, oh my god, and then I come back the next break, he's like, oh, he's powering through it.
Yeah.
You know, like he's a hero.
You're gonna be like afterwards. You're gonna be like, and we'll be right back. I think.
Well, if you think,
That's tough.
if you
It's
think
tough.
it's a simple thing to do that creates a story that creates more attention and also gives a perception that
Yeah,
you're toughing through something.
It's
where
what my daughter
it's
does when she steps on a sand spur.
yeah,
Right? Like she's like, ah.
If it hurts a little bit, why not just limp around? Also, it could trick the other team into being like, "Oh, he can't run."
Right,
like,
right,
You
so we
should
don't
do
run.
that on Brother Hawk, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, I think Jordan's really
So
sick
why
or
not?
something," and they come out there and
Sick.
blow their ass.
Well, I kind of luck out because my voice is already pretty raspy, or like it has like the bit of like a rasp to it or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a growl to it. So like I can kind of milk it a little bit, but there does come to a point where you don't hear me. Where I'm like,
Yeah, you don't want to hurt it.
I'm like, there's a problem.
You know, I've heard, this could be wrong, but I heard that whispering is extremely bad for you.
Bad.
Yeah.
Bad news bears.
Yeah,
So
why?
alcohol and caffeine.
It's a different type of vocal vibration, I
Yeah.
guess. So whispering is a lot more. If your
Yeah.
voice is raspy or you have that grind, it would be easier on your vocal cords to just try to talk versus like whispering.
Also clearing your throat too much.
Yeah,
I remember when
we're real bad about that. 'cause
I'm the
we drink
worst. I
so
literally
much
do.
caffeine.
Oh,
remember
right.
I had the loogie problem, which I still have.
Can I tell them what you did,
I
or,
went-
or is that banned? Can I tell them what you did? I want to get the ruling on this.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
I
What you
don't know
did with the loogie?
Oh no, come on!
These are road warriors. These are road warriors.
They don't even
I mean,
care.
These
there
are
a lot of
rock and
things that we
roll.
do.
These are he hogged a loogie accidentally, and then he had it. And as he was talking, it was like me talking to him, looking in your eyes, and me talking to you about something. And he just took his hand and he put it on his shirt or his
Grinded
sweatshirt,
it in.
and he
Rub
just
it in.
rubbed as he locked eyes with you, man. Like
No, you can rub it in.
yeah, and he rubbed it.
Fully committed.
Yeah, and then he just went until it disappeared.
I mean,
I'm just saying, when I went to the ear, nose, and throat, and I was like, I got these problems with my throat or whatever. I talk for a living, so it could be a problem. And he's like, all right, well, you stay away from alcohol, caffeine,
Chocolate,
and then I'm like,
Everything good.
Fatty
Everything
foods,
good,
barbecue,
yeah.
pickles, everything I eat. Barbecue, pickles, everything
actually,
you like, hot
dill,
sauce.
And then I'm like-
pickle juice is really good for your voice because it has
Is it?
vinegar in it.
Okay.
well,
Look at
I was
that.
like, what else you got?
Yeah.
Like, what else besides
You can
that?
die. Yeah, I guess you
I
just
don't know about
die.
you guys.
Yeah.
I start my day, I get up, and I take like a multitude of pills that keep me alive. I just take a whole bunch of pills. And I take them on an empty stomach. I take a vitamin. I take 5 of your Metamucil fiber pills that keeps things coming out smooth.
Oh, yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
wash it down with 5 16-ounce Diet Mountain Dews.
Yeah.
The big boys.
That's
I do
that's-
Those are all
five
your
of
food
that.
groups right
And I
there.
don't eat all day. And then at night, I go to sleep drinking 4 medium Coors Light Tall Boys.
dude.
That's a pretty balanced diet.
Yeah.
You have it set up.
Yeah, it's a nice...
set
Jordan,
up.
let me ask you guys about the business. business because I like business.
I like business.
Let me talk the business.
And I'm curious to where the I guess what the focus is now, as you guys are every band is its own small business.
Oh, yeah.
And
write that down.
And it's all everybody makes money in different ways, but for the most part, it's kind of like podcasting. There's kind of the standard. There's the advertising. There's the subscriptions.
How many times have you been stiffed
merch.
by a bar owner?
Oh, that's a really good question.
And which bars? And let's talk about
Let's
air them out.
What's the
or we'll just give you a bar tab.
Yeah.
Play for beer.
Here's some drink tickets.
You're playing for exposure is the worst one.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen as much as people think, at least in the Orlando area.
Yeah, I mean the business thing, man. It's and we are not vouching to be professionals at all. I mean, we still have day jobs, but
we still work full time.
The idea of there being like a step by step is like 20 years too late. There's no longer just be good and some AR rep will find you and sign you to a 5.
It doesn't exist anymore.
It's all the Wild West, man. It's about forging your own path, and whether that be through your own kind of just ground or roots, just kind of based on touring for 10 years and just building a following by just playing 250 shows a year, or if it's sitting at home and pumping out content, or I mean, a lot of the big label stuff that these days are just banks. They're just there to loan you the money and then you pay it back with interest, and they look, we can put you here and there. But when it comes to a lot of stuff, I mean, especially a lot of people that we look up to, American Aquarium being one of them, but a lot of artists that are just out there grinding and doing it until people just catch on, and then they can just do it for a living.
And how are they making their money primarily? Is it all show related? Is it music? Is it merch?
It's not much music these days.
I was going to say, it's not going to be the music.
Yeah. Your Spotify is your business card.
There's this whole for us in particular, we have you have your bar gigs where you're playing 3 hours, cover songs. I play them solo every once in a while. Tyler and I play about one a week. We're supposed to play at the Imperial tomorrow. With my voice, I can't guarantee it, so I got to talk to them.
Tom, you could fill in on.
Yeah, you want to fill in? You want to do you do a podcast or just bring your stuff? But there are those kinds of shows where you get a guarantee for this amount of money. This is our rate for playing for 3 hours.
Okay.
Then you get your corporate events and your weddings and whatnot, and that's bigger money.
Yeah.
Because it's more intimate. It's more
they got a budget.
They have a budget. Exactly. They have the money to spend.
Yeah, I mean that's no different than us in marketing money. Yeah. It's if the company has a budget, it's it's always pays more than if it's a one-off. How much?
We'll see how the bar goes tonight.
So you get that, and that's its own entity. We treat that as almost a separate thing.
Okay.
As a band. We don't do those. We make it a point. We're not going to go play at
not a cover act.
We're not a cover act. We're not going to go play a bunch of covers at a venue. A lot of bands do that, and that's awesome. But it's just not something everyone
in this band has done that for a decade.
They've done it.
We're okay.
I've done it. I'd like to keep that as a separate thing, and then focus with the band on original music, and then we'll throw some covers out there to fill the set.
The ones that mean a lot to you.
Fun arrangements.
Exactly. If you want to.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Saturday. We're playing an hour. Typically, with original sets and these ticketed shows, we've been doing 45 minutes. So we're throwing in another cover song just to fill the space. But ultimately, we're still trying to iron that out of what there's this whole thing between ticket sale percentages and then your rate or your guarantee. So we want a guarantee of X amount of money that we're going to make this money no matter how successful the show is.
Right. Yeah. Because then you get here, play here. We'll give you all the ticket sales.
Yeah.
And then you're well, that could be nothing.
We've never played here before, so
we'll give you 80% of the ticket sales.
Are you promoting? You're the venue. Are you putting anything in promoting? Or am I the only person promoting this?
Exactly.
We find a lot of that. If we're using a venue.
Oh, yeah.
That's
they want you to bring the people. They want you to advertise.
But they're doing nothing and putting no money in. There's no skin in the game.
And you owe them.
That's the old battle of the bands.
Similar.
Format where it's the venue is hey, we'll let you play at this awesome venue, but you have to sell the tickets or give them away because we just want the alcohol.
There was one that used to, you had to sell 10 tickets on your own and then give that money to the promoter.
Yeah,
and then
I know those shows.
Whatever extras. I'm not going to say any names, but like whatever extra
it happens
tickets.
all over this town.
There was one where I forgot that I was playing the show, and so I had to pay the promoter $20 just to play the show. And I begged him. I was like, dude, like I just forgot that I had this. This was years ago. I was like, I forgot I had this gig. He was like, money's money, man. I gotta.
Oh, that was you, wasn't it? That's how he is. He's stone cold killer.
And I learned my lesson.
This is just business.
I wouldn't make you pay the 20. I would be like,
he absolutely would not. He'd be like, I'm so sorry. Here's 20 for you. He'd give you 20.
But you also have to imagine that, like, over time, that's probably like the 20th time that's happened.
Right.
Where they're like, no BS, like just, this is my, this is how I'm trying to make a living doing what I'm loving doing and, what I love doing. And it's like, well, so am I. There's also some promoters who try to take there have been some promoters who try to take a percentage of what you're supposed to make. And I'm like, no. Like, I played the music. This is what I'm supposed to
settle it with the venue.
Settle it with the venue, and I'll take care of what. Like, this
is the artist cut.
This is mine.
Yeah.
So you have to be a little bit protective about.
It's all kind of based on restrictions unique to each band too, because if we were all road warriors and we had the ability to go tour 200 days a year and make that income, but also build that crowd that way organically in that way. We could, or we would, or we have done that in other acts, but it's also, a lot of us have roots here and have stability when it comes to 9 to 5. So it comes to what kind of precise steps we'll take this. We'll move the ball down the field. That will get us closer to doing this where we can leave those jobs, but being realistic. It's a balance.
Is your job cool about it? Like, do you guys have weird jobs that you don't want to talk about because they completely offset what you do and how cool you are? Look at you guys. I go like, these guys are cool guys.
These guys are cops. I know it.
Like Jordan is a cop. Jordan's a cop. And Tyler, I see Tyler go outside. He puts on one of those Florida Hawaiian shirts. He's a toll booth operator.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Epcot.
Yeah, they wear that Florida shirt.
You recognize me from this side of my face, just being like,
I was drunk with my wife going through there one time, and I asked the lady if I could buy her shirt, and she was appalled.
Oh my gosh!
You have to earn it.
I think I scared her.
Who do you guys see that has? Okay, because I've seen bands and artists do it independently without big record labels or big promotion.
Like the Offspring.
Well, we've talked about it even before, like when ICP, even though there's a joke, but it's like how they hustled to promote their name and they build a following.
Yeah.
And
they're only a joke in name. If you look at their bank account,
not
bad.
And then even
they started a cult though, straight up.
Yeah.
Like Juggalos, that's like a
cult.
thing.
They started a Walmart cult, and it is strong.
A lot.
It's very strong.
Some bands have used that same model of like, hey, we'll get our base, and then our base will support us forever, even if we don't have any,
311 has that.
Any
radio play.
Well, I mean, even like we were talking like Jelly Roll, even though he's bigger, but
he's
it's
blowing up now.
He seems like he fostered an audience and cultivated an audience, and then can make seemingly millions of dollars. I think he makes, and then without the help of any giant corporation or label and stuff, he just cultivated himself. Are there any bands that you've seen do that currently?
Yeah, I mean, American Aquarium for sure is one of those artists where we've got a bunch of bands that we love and either are friends with or look up to.
You're decked out but
multiple. I'm a walking poster boy for just like
49 Winchesters,
for just roots music.
And they just grinded it out. Did they hit anything like big on the internet, like used for promotion?
For bands like that, it's typically a song or two that maybe creeps out into some sort of mainstream, whether it be the internet or something, or now it's playlists on Spotify, whatever it may be.
American Aquarium came up in the guy that we work with who sends us music.
Okay,
so just to give you for instance, that's a name I know.
Raleigh.
That's a name I know that's rolled through my desk.
Yeah, bands like that. The first one that came to my mind was Blackberry Smoke, which is an amazing band. But those guys have they've been on some smaller labels or whatever, or they've been a part of like Zach Brown's record label at one point in time. But they've essentially just toured for a decade plus. Yeah. And just built it year by year by year by year, and now they can go out and sell at any venue that they're playing or booking at, without really any major radio hits that carried them through a couple of years or something.
So they just grinded out a full-time job. But what's the drummer for American Aquarium make? If you guys had just,
I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I think that question all the time. Like how
$80,000 a year?
So like
$60,000?
Our bit. So we had a big. We do like an annual meeting as a band where I have a list of things I want to talk about.
State of the band.
like year in review, like
fire. No.
Yeah, you're fired. Like where we want to go in the upcoming year, as more of like just a challenging ourselves kind of deal, and I was trying to. And I always think, and so like we all agreed that. Like if we can make it so that everybody's making as much, enough money to walk away from their jobs.
Yeah.
That's the ticket. That's what we're aiming for.
Well, I'm making like $500,000 a year, so we're gonna
have to really work on it. But that's difficult. And so like,
if you guys are both computer engineers, it's going to be harder to pull away.
A couple Grammys,
but it isn't. It definitely is.
I'm in charge of TikTok.
It's like. And because you get to that point where like I have a decent job, I'm comfortable.
Yeah,
he manages the Arby's on Columbia.
That's right. I'm comfortable in a sense where
the nice Arby's.
Yeah,
it's a great
exactly. It's a good one. I get spit on every once in a while.
Yeah, Jamocha shake though, man. The power of the Jamocha
But you do
shake.
as you get older, it's like, well, how much am I putting into it? What challenges can we do? Like we have all agreed, like let's get out of Orlando more. So like in this last like kind of going against what I just said, like we just played in Orlando a bunch this month, but we were like, okay, like if we want to do a tour, how are we going to do it? So come October, we mapped out like a handful of dates that were like, let's just get the hell out of Florida.
Nice.
So we are already talking with a guy who has a band up in Aberdeen, North Carolina. And they're looking to have us come in and play, and then we're looking at Nashville, Savannah. So like we're just trying to map out like
some new markets. Yeah,
like we're only able to take so many vacation days. You know what I mean? So it's like we can only do so much.
And your businesses your day jobs are. Do they know? Are they supportive?
Oh yeah. You asked that earlier. Yeah, I wanted to say that. Yeah, both of ours in particular. Are
my director of HR came out to our show last Friday.
Yeah,
that's cool.
They're super supportive.
Yeah, very supportive. I've met Tyler's
Do they hold signs? Because that would be embarrassing. The directors are like, Tyler, hey, I want you to be supportive, but you need to sign down.
I actually met my boss at Sanford Porch Fest last year, which got me this job.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty
wild. Did you hear
wild.
that? So all you
can get a job.
All you unemployed fat asses, come on down to Porch Fest.
It's a pretty wild situation.
Career fair.
So her aunt, so her aunt was a fan of ours. She came to all of our shows. She invited her whole family out.
Wow.
And my now supervisor was one of those family members. And then months later, like into the summer, she came across my LinkedIn profile, which I never updated my headshot, so it was still like clean cut Jordan. Couldn't tell it was me.
Well, no one's ever updated their LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So
I'm
she,
still a blue person.
Yeah. So she messaged
never
me.
happened.
She messaged me. She's like, "Is this you? Like, are you also a web content manager?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "We are hiring." And I was like, "Oh my god! I just got it!" Like,
He
that's great.
manages OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Best day, a rock star at night. Yeah, OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I interviewed in 2 weeks. I got the job.
Best dope.
And it was like I'm very, very lucky. I used to work at Stetson University doing their web content.
Oh, right on.
That's my alma mater as
Yeah.
well. I went to.
Oh
Stetson.
no way, man!
Daniel,
That's a
too.
great school.
It is a good school.
I was in the music program.
Still in debt for the rest of my life.
Oh, you
for
will
it.
be. That's
yeah.
an expensive ass school.
Yeah,
The firstborn belongs to Stetson. But
Yeah.
Private.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, the big white hat.
Oh yeah,
That's the guy.
Oh, the Hatters.
The Hatters.
Go Hatters.
I wore my Hatters hat last week.
So I very much lucked out in that sense where, and everybody's very supportive. Like my birthday was a couple weeks ago, and in the birthday card, they're like, happy birthday, Rockstar. And what's cool about that too is that my supervisor's supervisor is a musician in Nashville. So he has like an ongoing band that he's working with.
So no one's making money in music.
So
by the way. Yeah.
So when I interviewed with him, we hit it off immediately, and I was like, "Oh, I might have gotten this job." Like, hell yeah, rock
He's like,
and
send me
roll.
one of your songs, and I'll let you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there?
That's all right.
There's still the you become friends with some major band above you, and they take you on tour. Like we still hear the
It's
story.
all agencies though. So
But-
like they like with Brother Hawk, for example.
Okay.
We talk every once in a while on Instagram. Gabe Lee is a Nashville singer-songwriter that we've become pretty good friends with, that we just talk to regularly, that we're just trying to maintain good communication, good friendship, try to build a connection.
Yeah. Who can help you up the next rung of that ladder?
Yeah,
essentially,
but then when you go to talk to them about business, they sometimes, not them in particular, but some artists and bands will be like, you got to talk to like our agencies.
We get that a lot.
And then the agents will be like, can you bring in 50 to 100 people into a venue at a place you've never played before? And we're like, yeah.
Of course, friends in my hometown.
Of course.
Yeah. You never say no.
Listen to our Spotify. You'll know.
Just be like 50 to 100. I was thinking more, but if that's what you want, I mean, I guess I can specialize
at that.
The problem is then when you're there, there's no one comes in, and you're like, you're lying.
No.
You're like, I don't know what happened. Is it raining?
What you and I have done before. You go, they come in late.
They'll be here.
And then you try to look for the exits.
Exactly.
No, in that case, they go, hey, you owe us $500.
Yeah.
It just seems like someone being discovered, or someone's going to take you under their wing, or like some celebrity is going to be like, hey, I like this band.
It's that way for comedians.
It's like winning the lottery much that you were like, I hope it happens, but I'm damn sure never going to do like a bet on it because it's a horrible bet. Because that's just it's an anomaly.
You could try. We try.
Well,
when we come out with a single, I send it to every American Aquarium. I sent it to 49. I'm just like, hey guys, we have a song.
Knock on every door.
Just want to see if you like it. Not asking you to like give a shout out or anything. We just want you to hear it, and if you like it, great. Like Jason Isbell. We're huge Jason Isbell fans.
Yeah, he's got a new record, right?
Yeah,
he does.
So,
new singles.
so along the way, I'm friends with like the bassist of the 400 unit.
All right,
somehow, some way.
Send him the track. And
we're not going to say how that just become a friend. So the song comes out. And I'm like, hey, man, like, I just want to hear what you think of it. And then he started, like, he actually took the time to listen to it. And
gave
like,
feedback. And like,
gave us feedback and praise and, like, was like, I really dig it. And so in my head, I'm like, in this conversation, how do I maneuver it to be like, so can you get a sign?
Yeah.
So can, like,
or at least, like, share.
Can we open for it?
We're the worst at that. I was just talking to Tom about that. We have comedians come in here all the time, and they have very powerful and huge Instagram and Twitter and TikTok accounts.
Right.
And they'll be, like, videoing themselves, and then they'll go to, like, video us, and I'll, like, duck away. I don't want to be like, it's like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I doing that? You know, we won't ask. We don't. I saw a lot of times people roll through here, and I won't even get a photo.
Yeah.
Or you guys tell them how to start a podcast, and then theirs is way more successful than ours.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
We're more coaches, not players.
And then we look at his. We're looking at their
how is Dan Cummins so big?
We're like, I wish I was as rich as Dan. We're like, wait a minute. I was talking to him in my driveway one time before he started this damn thing. but then it's like, it's like that person's
We're the
journey.
Podcasters podcast.
Because the thing
right? That's what you want to be. If you're the comedian's comedian, we are the Podcasters podcast.
Exactly.
I'm going to start telling everybody that. Then they don't think we're failures.
And also,
it's like they didn't want to be big. They always wanted to keep it cool and intimate. They're the indie podcast forever.
Integrity.
Well, do you guys get this feeling where you just feel like there's so much? I know people are tired of me saying this, but it just feels like there's so much content out there that it's just being diluted down to like audience numbers. It's impossible to get what people got 20 years ago.
100%.
You know, like
100%.
You know, there's. I mean, how many bands would you say that probably sound damn near close to you guys? Like
zero, obviously.
No, we are original. I don't know.
Tom.
No, that's like the most thing.
Everything we've done is not influenced by anybody.
We start with the single, and then we plummet to hell. Talking about I know an original.
So you guys are like one of 100, one of 1,000.
So everybody sounds like you.
I'm sorry. Right? I know that's insulting.
I know what you mean.
I know what you mean.
Unintentional dickhead.
You know what he did? Unintentional. He's like, you're hacky like me and Dad, right?
No, but I look at me and Daniel like two guys
totally
talking at the mic think they're funny. Well, there's a million of us. It's all the same
But
ass.
you're right, though.
You're 100% correct, and it's about kind of how it's that cross pollination in genre. Where you can definitely find genre that you can fit into, but then make it like 15% a bit different.
Yeah.
They overlap in that kind of context.
How do you sound unique in a world where nothing is neat? Nothing is unique.
Yeah,
and everyone's got a constant flow. I mean, you could put a year and $20,000 into a record, put it all out, and someone just has to swipe past it, and then they'll never listen to it. It's the idea of of singling out the record literally,
and that's a whole other
piece by piece.
Well, lately I've been just putting small small strips of cloth over my breasts, and then I just bounce on TikTok and Instagram. I have over 4.9 million followers.
Dude.
I don't do any. I don't know if they're
great.
listening to the podcast. I put the audio on there, but I just bounce, and man, you should see the influence I have. Look at how powerful. I'm giving something to the world. Look at what I'm
100%.
providing.
And TikTok killed the radio star too. You know, like.
And then it made a bunch new ones. Like
Yeah.
it just
And
that's a whole crazy platform.
Yeah, that's a whole other platform. My nephew was telling me.
Are
one
you guys
time,
on there?
I'm on there,
I'm a
but I'm
lurker.
not active.
I'd
I'm
be
not
lurking.
like as
You gotta
successful.
put
Some of your songs on
Small
there.
strips of cloth.
But like,
over your
I
breasts.
want to, Sam, and that's
Yeah,
the
like a
thing.
clip
like,
of you guys at
oh my
Porch
gosh,
Fest?
I need to like get in my car and do the whole lip syncing of my own song.
But the only
Video.
way it will
But that-
work is small
strips.
of cloth.
Strips of cloth over my.
Or you just you have
but that's
some
all right.
like
We'll get it.
some goof. My money don't jiggle or wiggle,
yeah,
wiggle,
yeah.
it folds or whatever the hell. And
Yeah.
it's like
Millions and
that'll,
millions.
That'll be and then people just take that little clip and
And
put
then
it on
you
there.
just,
Yeah.
and you post the same, like, that was what my nephew was saying. He was like, Uncle Jordan, you need to post the same
Jordan,
videos
that's so
over and
cute.
over.
That's so cute.
Over and over again. He's like, that's what my friend does. And then he showed me the videos of his friend, and it's literally the stupidest, like, the worst video I've ever. I was like, how does he have 1 million followers? He's like, I don't know, dude. Like, it doesn't make sense.
But those million followers don't make him
don't
a dollar.
mean anything.
Exactly.
We
It's
know
meaningless.
And
It's,
then,
like, it's like collecting fairies in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what?
Yeah.
They're
it's
there.
crazy.
Yeah, but what does it do? I
Yeah,
don't-
Yeah.
It's interesting because you could have 1 million person audience that follows your nonsense content or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's worth zero.
But they don't care.
But you could have 1,000 people that are your diehard fans
Yeah.
that are worth, 60,000 a year.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
in merch
Correct.
sales and ticket sales and
Yeah.
stuff, and that's 1,000 to 1 million, and
Yeah.
you're like, what? One's worth 60,000 a year, one's
And-
worth zero,
yeah.
and then one's
It's wild.
50 times bigger.
And I think we talked about this the last time about like listens on Spotify, and like, you know, we mentioned it just briefly about releasing music a little bit at a time rather than releasing all of it at once,
Yeah.
because nobody's taking the time to listen to a whole album. And they say that they do, like, oh, I can't wait to hear all the music. It's like, yeah, but my
lying.
my own brother listened to like my first single and didn't listen to the whole CD for like a year till a year
I'm
later.
a real fan.
You know, he did listen to it, so I forgave him. But
You have to sit there with him.
yeah,
But you realize all humans are the same.
Yeah,
They're all
exactly.
doing the same thing. Yeah.
and there's this whole like strategy now with releasing music or just any kind of content where you almost have to be willing to give it for free and find
Most
where's the money coming from around it. So like when we're talking about like, you know, merch sales, live music, like, you know, trying to get sponsored or represented or anything like that, that's where the gold is. But really, like, the gold for us is like listens. We just want folks to go and listen to our songs in the hopes that we'll hit over 1,000 on the song. And luckily with, you know, our first single Loners that we played here, like it hit pretty quickly. We're already almost at 6,000. So that's organic too. Like we haven't
great.
we're not paying for any, you can go out there and pay for like thousands of bot listens. We're not doing any of that crap. Like
Right.
we are,
That's great.
We're literally just trying to get genuine listeners, genuine followers who really like our music. If you don't, that's fine.
Because those are the ones that'll stick around.
Exactly, because those are the ones who are going to be supportive and the ones who are going to want to show up. And luckily, Orlando, surprisingly, does have a really good scene. It's small for our sound, but it's there. You have Mike Dunn, and you have, you know, like you have Wes Morrison, and some of the artists that you have on your porch. Literally, that's a good segue. Like the Wes Morrison and the Stray Hairs.
You're better at this than Tom. You should take over the show.
Let me take over. Give me your Tom. Give me your
Talking about
polo.
an actual segue.
Let's
We're
change it
blowing
to
this guy's voice out too. I feel so bad he's already.
Talking
You're
too
good
much.
at this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I planned this. No, but Wes Morrison and the Stray Hairs, you know, they're very good friends. Fever Dreams, Joshua Jacobs used to have a band called The States, and then they broke up, and then he started this new band called Fever Dreams. They're both, Fever Dreams is out of Ocala, Wes Morrison's out of Leesburg, that area. Both very talented, but they'll come into town and try to play shows, and there's a good support system within the scene that like we're able to go and do original shows with them, and we're able to go and do Porch Fest consistently. Like, we're going to do Porch Fest with the intent of playing to a bunch of people. And we last year we were doing a GoFundMe for our album campaign, so we had our drummer's fiance, go around with a tip jar and
That's
just
smart.
ask for money.
That's a good idea.
And we made some good money.
Tell you,
doing
you
it.
do small strips of cloth on the tip jar.
Okay, last question.
Lots of tips.
What? Because I want to be better than all the other porches. Like, as far as
We already are.
I want our musicians to be like, oh my god, the Tom and
Well,
Dan
you'll never
porch.
be Porch 3 because that's where we're at.
Oh
Yeah,
well,
they
no,
are
no,
Porch Three.
not musically.
Porch competitions.
No.
Porch
Oh
battle.
no, like the cool hangout for the musicians.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about the hosts because we're hosting.
right.
Yeah,
What?
this guy's doing a taco bar
great
for all of our
question.
bands. We're doing
No,
like a taco.
He never got that.
No,
You
I'm
canceled
not,
it?
no, I'm working out with it. I'm working it out.
We're trying to get
The
a
food-
taco bar.
Food. We're gonna have food.
We-
For the
That'll
bands?
help.
I
Yeah,
guarantee
for
you
the
we will
band.
not.
All
Switch.
free alcohol.
We're doing free alcohol.
Free alcohol is
Taco
particular.
bar.
Free alcohol. Talk about what else? Get with drugs.
I think it was 2. Yeah. Well, that's
Here's some newbies, guys.
Like,
Why don't we get some strippers?
strippers. Like, what can we do that you guys would be like, whoa, this?
I
these
honestly,
hosts-
Foam pit
I think it
in the
was
back.
2 years ago.
Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. Everyone gets a PlayStation. Yeah. The hosts a couple years ago were just like putting beers on our amps. Like, here you go. Like, just
Yeah.
during the
Nice.
set, like
Just like
giving us
kindly, like,
beer, which
Get
was
off my
great.
stage.
Like that
Gotta
kind of
be like
thing
a
for
roadie.
us
That was
was
big for us.
rad.
The-
And, like, just
Tyler and I did a duo set at Porch Fest a couple years ago, and the guy was like super nice. Like, gave us a tour of of his house, and like had a party after our show with all of his friends. So that was kind of.
I don't think we're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
we're allowed.
Are we doing that? We're allowed.
But
You
like,
do whatever
just
you want.
being welcoming is the biggest thing. Of like, this is an Airbnb. Yeah.
I was going to lock all the doors.
I was really hoping you were gonna say like, get the hell off my lawn.
Well,
when you're
what we
done
were going to
playing.
do is we're going to have the band start playing as I lock and shut all the windows and hide behind the door as they play.
yeah.
So you,
We gotta get them out of
Yeah,
here.
we do.
Sorry.
They will be at
We like
Porch
having you
3.
guys here.
We love
though,
being
so.
here, man.
Yeah, we
Appreciate
love coming and talking with you guys.
Sorry
we were
you
so
blew your
excited to
voice
do
out,
this.
man.
It's okay. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Worth it.
We'll do it again when you're not so busy, and that way you can perform.
So check out Jordan Foley in the Wheelhouse on Saturday at the Porch Fest.
Go
Yeah.
grab the singles.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah, 2
support
singles
them on
out.
Spotify.
Two singles out on
Loners,
Spotify.
Our Last Dance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saturday we play Porch 3, which is 520 South Oak Avenue at 5:15.
Oh,
So
I'm
we're-
going to walk down.
We're right before I believe Cat's headlining the whole
Like 6:30.
Kit and
Yeah,
Caboodle.
yeah. We're walking
So
down to that to see.
come check us out and
So
then-
we'll come see you, and then
Yeah.
we'll come down and see
That'd be
Kat.
great.
That'll be perfect.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, man.
I don't know if we'll probably be drunk.
Come stumble down.
Oh my God.
You know what? Just bring whatever beers you got left and put them on our amps. We'll,
Okay. Yeah.
we'll be very grateful.
I'm gonna scream, trash this place. All
If you want to be a good host of a porch,
Porch
give
3
everyone
sucks.
sledgehammers to
Yeah.
like take down the house when they're done.
Do
Yeah.
like Rodney. Hey, trash this place. Everybody's getting laid. You know, like, what are you, 1980s Meatballs movie? You just tear the place apart.
Hey.
Why would you do that? You're supposed to be the
You
business.
do a really great Rodney Dangerfield impression. That was
good.
Hey,
that was
we're all
gold.
getting laid.
Hey,
right.
That's awesome.
We'll
We appreciate
be,
you guys.
thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, no
Thank you
worries.
guys.
We'll see you Monday.